go down, and for a predominant amount of your defensive wins as a win condition to be won pre-planned. Either they're going up against opponents, now I hate to speculate like this, but either they've been going up against opponents that have been rather easy and they've been able to kill them before the plan, or that's their MO and we're expecting a lot of defensive aggression.
Well, we got that bird's eye view of the map. Now we get Prime Gaming Agents Select. We're quick to see the lock-ins. We will have that Sage on the side of Furia, but for Sentinels, that's what I'm more curious about. A very well-rounded comp. No surprises there, I think.
Yeah, this is basically what you would expect out of them at this point. Zom's on Astra, Dapper on the Cypher. That's going to be kind of one of the bigger stylistic differences here is you've got two different Sentinels. So Khalil plays a very unusual Killjoy. He's very aggressive with it because he's right behind the Jet oftentimes. He's not really sitting in the back lines like a lot of Killjoys like, and he'll do this from time to time. A lot of Killjoys do like to sit in the back lines, cover the flanks, but you can kind of let the Astra do. You can let Mazin do that here. And so he will follow in. And so that's going to be very different than what I think a lot of people are used to seeing with a Killjoy.
I think that's cool to hear, though, because double Sentinels starting on the attacking side, right? Some people would have some questions about that, but these teams are going to give us some answers soon enough. Predictions real quick. Sentinels, Furia, who takes it?
I think Sentinels 2-0. I think Ascent's going to be pretty close, but after that, I think Breeze is going to be pretty heavily in favor of Sentinels.
Over here, Jess?
It'd be disingenuous for me to not say Sentinels. Furia, unknown quantity. We've got to see what they've got, but I'd love a team secret story. I'd love for them for all me to almost eat my words. I'm going to tell you that.
There was some conversations in the van ride over here about how this could be the quickest day of champions with the two tournament favorites.
We got to stop listening to Mitch, man, okay?
Yeah, we really
got to stop listening to Mitch.
At this point, that's already not the case. Let's see if Furia can give us the same thing. I'm very pleased to be throwing it over to DDK and Sean Garris for the call. Gents, take it away.
Thank you so much, Dash. Yes, I'm here with Sean, and this is going to be an exciting one. Sean, I think, has made it pretty known that he thinks Sentinels will win the entire tournament. So I'm not going to ask you for a spicy take here, but we do have some interesting things because Sentinels haven't played any officials in quite some time, and there has certainly been some changes and lots of rumors. So there's everything you can tell us going straight into this one before we kick it off.
Straight into it. And the last time we saw Sentinels on Ascent, Sick picked KO. The time before that, Phoenix. This is a very different look from Sentinels right off the bat. Love what I'm seeing from them. They're spread out across the map, and it looks like Furia is going for a mid control. Based on the spacing of the agents, I'm going to say they might go into a fast mid-B split here, Dan.
Absolutely. Will be interesting to see exactly how Sentinels decide to handle this one. We have some information sought after that. They're certainly going to be hearing the presence. Drone going up. There's a quick flash coming through to try to see if they're all the way to market just yet. But you can see the pace is stopped here for Furia. They're looking for a response after this initial pressure.
Yeah, and you can see Mazin now is using that Astra to use the global abilities, help his team take mid, but now he's faded into A main. And you can see the Killjoy Khalil has pulled off of B main. This is now a cat split, Dan. They're going up.
Oh no, Zoms will actually take one down through the Astra smoke, through the Nebula. That's unfortunate there. Xan will fall, and it is slow progress to the site here, but QCK able to pick off one. Spike looking to get planted on the site now. Retake effort is coming through here. There's a quick flash, and Sentinels will be slowed slightly by that Nano Swarm. Perfect timing on that one as they look to go for a quad peek all the way up from Rafters here. And Tens, of course, kicking things off quite nicely, finding a quick headshot. The return, though, from Furia as they look to hold this one, but two players stuck, isolated underneath Rafters in hell. Shazam will make quick work of NCR, and it's looking like it's getting a little bit tight here for Sentinels as they're moving in. Still some time left. There's the pressure on that Spike. Mazin will take down Shazam, and it's leaving it all to Sick here. Two places to look. Not sure exactly where the other player is. Doesn't know that he's in hell, and that's it. Khalil will finish it off. Very well done from Furia, holding their nerve throughout the rounds.
Excellent round there from Furia. The spacing on the site hold, the Sage putting the wall up. QCK put the wall up right there at Tree, Dan. Peeked over the Nebula, got the frag into Heaven, and that was the initial trade that got Furia into the site. They stopped the 4-out Heaven push. I think it was a little bit of a mistake, though, from Sentinels not breaking the door prior to going in. It was such a telegraphed one-way retake from them.
Yeah, and this is fantastic because we get to see, you know, Furia off to a good start on their attack. We'll see how their default, how they want to play optimally. But I say that, I don't get ahead of myself here. Of course, we've got the force coming through from Sentinels.
Yeah, look how far Furia is off the choke stand. It's like they know that Sentinels isn't afraid to invest into these rounds. But on this round, it looks like only Tens has really bought on Marshall. Everyone else just keeping the classic Sick with the Frenzy in hand. And now we have the drone clearing out B main. And if you pay attention here, Furia is left too near A, right? Just in case they need to roll off, quickly go to the A site if there is a B stack on this eco. Now, unfortunately for them, it's not a B stack, and they haven't sold this fake at all so far. So these A players are going to have to do a little bit of prodding, Dan.
Yeah, and this pacing is an interesting one because you've got to be careful not to shoot yourself in the foot by just running out of time when you're playing the anti-eco here, and I do fear for Furia in this position.
But it looks like they are repositioned. They're repositioning this B site, so they're blindly going to go with a B hit here. I'm sure the Sova's recon has charged up. There it is, yep, and he's going to shoot that probably into the site any second now. That'll give a ton of information. The site's empty. This is going to be a free take, Dan. And I'm curious, is Sentinels going to go for the frags into the site, or are they going to try to box them in, get some exits, and do some economic damage?
Yeah, I feel, especially as they are Sentinels, that they would want to try to take some fights here, and they're actually all gathering towards spawn. So it's feeling more committed as opposed to boxing them in here. All 5 players coming through spawn in towards that B site. How many will they be able to find here? Of course, there is another Nebula there that is blocking vision. So Zan will get a freebie through the smoke as Dapper falls. So it's looking quite labored and not really seeing all that much promise here so far for Sentinels in this one. There we go, Sick finally able to get a little bit of damage, but just 1 frag so far. And in fact, Furia happy to go for the challenges. Losing 2 players now, but as you say, Sean, this is really what they were looking for here, Sentinels, as Tens gets another opportunity, but of course the shutdown is through, and that's the 2-0 opening here for Furia as we move into their 3rd round.
Yeah, and it's the little things, right? The Jet Bladestorm adding an extra orb in this patch relative to previous tournaments that we've seen Tens play. If he got 1 Marshal kill right there, Dan, all he would need in this round is 1 frag and then his death, and then you had a Bladestorm in the following round. That's not the case right now, so he's far off of Bladestorm, and if you look here, he doesn't have a great buy. Going into the first gun, I think that's a Guardian in his hands with a bunch of Phantoms out, so no Operator in play yet.
Yeah, and you can see that Furia have not really invested here either, kept what they had, just shoring it up with a couple of Sheriffs. Mid presence here for Furia. They do like to put pressure on this mid position and to deny the attackers from, or rather, sorry, the other way around. Furia likes to deny the defenders mid control. And you see in this round in particular, Marzin's just going to walk up with the Sheriff by himself.
Yeah, and yet again, Dan, look, if the Sentinels gave up A main control, they're playing it in the blind here. They're stacking 3 to the A site because they have no info. So if you look over at this B site, Shaz is here all alone. He does have the Cheese Odin spam ready to go, though. Dan, this could get ugly.
Oh, I'm so afraid.
Oh, God.
I'm so afraid for Furia. And there it comes, but looks like he'll pull off of it. They are too deep, so nothing from the Odin. So the first hurdle has been passed there for Furia, but still looking to make their way forward. They've managed to get a 4th position on Xan with that Jet dashing in, and now the rest of them starting to file into the site, and great headshots coming through off of this Sheriff, no less. And that's a huge opening into the site.
Spike planted.
Sentinels in a very difficult retake here, Dan. 2-on-4, but the trade frags come in. Brings it down to a 2-on-3. Both players from Sentinels far off their ults. Turret spot Sick on the way in. And this will probably allow them to reset. They might have to save, Dan.
Yeah, not looking good here, but you can see Dapper's looking for some amount of damage. And he's going to bait somebody out, and there we go. Khalil will give him what he wants, and a beautiful cleanup coming through from Furia. 3 players surviving. Khalil's even picked up the Odin. Sean.
Yes, Sentinels is going to the Brazilian barbecue, Dan, and they are on the menu right now. This is not looking good for the boys. Man, losing the bonus early, I constantly am preaching about this. Those bonus rounds are pivotal if you're a pro team. Losing them early on in the games can cause things to snowball out of control. The ult economy will build for your enemies, and their economy is going to build with that. So you're really in the hole now if you're a Sentinels player.
Yeah, you can see in this particular round, they'll be looking for some early openings around Catwalk. They've got a setup there. They're leaving Shazam alone towards that B site. Has some Cypher util from Dapper to help him, but otherwise it's a stack towards this B site, and they would be correct here because here comes the push from Furia into the A site. Wow, X had absolutely no fear whatsoever, able to convert, taking Raptor's control just briefly.
Caution here.
The spike still needs to go down here. This is looking a little bit scary with the pressure from Sentinels coming through, but you can see that Furia are slowing it down. They've got the weaponry advantage, the utility advantage. They're playing it as disciplined as they can.
Yeah, they're going to sit on these ults too. They're going to build them, like I was saying. You know, that's going to make their following rounds so much more easy. Oh, what? Zand spraying blindly through the smoke as the door breaks. Takes out Sick. Man, he's definitely been the most impactful duelist in this server so far, Dan.
Yes.
That's not what you want to see if you're a Sentinels fan.
Those are, I mean, of course, the frag doesn't really mean much in the scheme of things for the round as we see it cleared up by Furia, but those are nice ones to get because you feel awesome when you get those, and as you're talking about building up the confidence for the duelist is always important.
So the question here now is, how does Sentinels answer back? Do they get the operator on 10s? How do they get him more involved in the game? And yeah, I think I just saw right there. He has the operator in hand. They're still going to keep Shaz in this B site most likely, and we're still probably going to see, you know, Zoms over here at A main. But I would really like to see Sentinels fight for A main for once.
Yeah, and one thing we have to be cautious about, well, Sentinels should be, is these fast plays from Furia, fast A/B splits. We'll get the drone likely going up mid as well. They like to make sure that they can clear that position, keep the pressure on the defense by taking mid away. So the drone goes up early on here for Furia.
And it broke the trip, Dan. It broke the trip for Mazen, so he's now lurking mid with no trip there.
But here goes TenZ. He's looking for information. I think he's heard a step. Oh, there's the dash. Oh my god, able to get out of there. Cosmic Divide comes through. A delayed exec onto this B site. Oh, what a shot there from Xan, and it is beautiful early on here from Furia. They have come to play.
That is so sick, Dan.
Oh man, this is insane. What a round from Furia. They completely demolished Sentinels with just pure class and skill.
Prime Gaming flawless nonetheless, and not a single Brazilian player falls in that round. Argentinian as well. They look incredible. TenZ had a sitter though, right there. That's one we expect TenZ to hit. Maybe the nerves coming to him, opening match, a little rusty. But they need TenZ to perform. This is a team that heavily relies on one player to perform, and we've just come to expect it now at this point.
Yeah, and it's really smart too because Furia were representing a slow default, and they were ready to just pounce on an info gathering play like we just saw. They got lucky that time Furia, their TenZ was there in that particular instance, but back to the anti-eco. We've got Sheriffs on board here for Sentinels on the defense. The pressure comes through towards A main already. Zand, oh, it's just beautiful movement. He's making this look incredible so far on this jet. And I am just afraid for Sentinels watching him, his POV at the moment. And after that initial pressure, we'll have Dapper clearing the B side of the map. So, I mean, Sentinels, they have the information, but what do they do with it? TenZ is on that Bladestorm, and you just have to, you get a sense of how key he is in a round like this.
Yeah, and again, Fury is making the perfect rotation. You mentioned they're falling back to B. Dapper has pushed through mid, and Shaz has actually reclaimed the B site. So this is the rotation Sentinels needed, but it's pretty much all on Shazam.
Dapper would have heard the footsteps, I believe, in spawn as they were running.
Oh, the rotation's coming in, Dan. Look, TenZ is entering this B site right now.
It is really on TenZ here with the Bladestorm, and there we go. Great shots coming through from TenZ. The utility to slow things down. They can't refrag this. They have 30 seconds to try to recover, and they can't go to B. They've got to quickly abort, but straight into Dapper. They've been fed into the machine, and here he goes. There's one for Dapper, looking for the next one with the Sheriff. It's patient, but it's TenZ from mid with the Bladestorm to capitalize, and that is how you answer back. Great stuff from Sentinels, and I love Dapper's position in mid.
Yeah, veteran play there coming out of Dapper on the Sentinel roll, nonetheless, on Sentinels. He pushes through mid, and you mentioned it, I think he heard the attackers running through their spawn right there on the way to B. So the lockdown isn't respected in the slightest. That allowed them to have 3 players in the B site with Dapper containing them in mid on an A fake, Dan. Like, that's insane from Sentinels, but it's all made from Dapper playing that situation perfectly.
Absolutely. Sets TenZ up on the position, and we'll see more aggression in mid early here for Sentinels. Just trying to contest this because I think they know that ultimately they'll rotate out of this position, most likely.
They're going back.
You're right, Sean, just as I say that.
This is insane. Drone Wars.
The drone wars, and it's Furia to pick up the opening kill there. TenZ goes down. That's a huge pick off immediately. Oh, a second! I don't think Sick knew anything about that angle there, and early 5 versus 3 in favor of Furia.
Yeah, and the Seekers are out of the play too. Not much to work with on Cloud9 right here. Shaz, no utility remaining. The Recon's still charging. One frag, though, and the Hunter's Fury can come on. That could change the round. And Furia's just waiting for a mistake to be made right now. They're just chilling in mid, and this is eventually going to be a mid-B split.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of information there with that turret damage coming through, and the collapse onto the B site now for Furia. Dapper in the back of the site. He's good, but can he be this good? Got players from both angles. It's a nice initial kill onto Xan. Can he find any more? Dapper doing huge damage. It's only the 2, though, but maybe that's enough. Spike will go down the rotation already through spawn here from Shazam and Zoms. Certainly a chance for them. We don't have a recon just yet, though, from Shazam. Doesn't look like they want to wait for it. They're going straight for the peaks. Shazam, very threatening there. NZR in the boathouse, trying to keep himself alive. Shazam making it happen. Whilst it goes down, Zoms takes down one more. It's up to NZR. In the 1 versus 2. They're looking for him. They know he's at backside. Oh my goodness, Sentinels. I have no idea how they handled that so well.
It all started with Dapper just nesting in the back of sight like that, using his cages to perfection, using Zoms' nebulas as well to hold the stairs. Honestly, those 3 remaining players from Sentinels might have kept them in this game, Dan, because things would have spiraled out of control with that round.
Yes, yeah, that was beautiful. It really was, and that's the kind of stuff that Sentinels brings to the table. You know, you put someone with their back against the wall, they're always going to do a little bit more damage than maybe you expect, and that's one of the things you have to worry about. But it's a bye for both teams here, Sean.
And it looks like Sentinels is done trying the super aggressive mid stuff. This is just a base setup. Tens will fight mid, but I mean, you can see they're just 1-1-1-1 split all across the map right now on Sentinels. So it's not going to be any kind of coordinated aggression here.
Oh, we have a cat push coming in just to get some information, a bit of pressure. But we've got 4 ultimates online here for Sentinels, so they can play retake so effectively. The Cosmic Divide, the Hunter's Fury, the Seekers, they have so much to work with in that sense. So I feel like it does allow them to play
the drone missed 10s. The drone missed 10s, Dan. I couldn't agree more with what you said, but this drone, I think they believe 10s isn't in mid. They are wrong, though, as he has shown.
That's a problem, and there's the follow-up. Shazam knows they're trying to shuffle up because of the information that Ten's got, and Shazam probably saw that off of the mini-map. And you can see NZR is trying to pressure into the A site now, but it's certainly a desperate recovery attempt now for Furia. Oh my god, they're going to drop down the Cosmic Divide. That's going to make life more difficult. They can't even get in here, and that's a spike that's just down in front of them for Sentinels. It's just full control right now.
It's really just not fair, Dan, when you have to run through a Cosmic Divide into a smoke, into a gravity well, you know, just one agent.
It's interesting, though, Sean, because I feel like that's a lot of respect that Sentinels are giving Furia to use the Cosmic Divide, because they had quite a big ultimate lead, and they're like, we are just going to guarantee that we win this round no matter what.
They needed to guarantee not only that they won this round, though, Dan, they needed to do it cleanly, right? And right now, no one has died on their team. They're looking at a Prime Gaming flawless, but they need to build an economy if they want to come back in this game, and this is a start.
Yeah, it certainly is, and that's the thing too, you know, Sentinels looking amazing right now, which is great to see for a Sentinels fan, especially after what was a very scary run of 5 rounds from Furia. But at the same time, Furia, they still have 5 rounds. If they only get 1 more round in the half, that's still like a good half for Furia, so lots of work for Sentinels to continue to do, and it's going to be interesting to see how that shapes up now as we have another bye round for both teams.
And Tens is on this B site with the operator. Dapper here as well. Shaz on the rotate into mid, so they've moved Tens around, and I think they have the right read. Cam in the window early from Dapper gives some info that this is more than just a B default.
Yeah, that spot there, I think that kind of blew up this opening for Furia. They're just holding position now, looking for a response in mid. There goes that drone. We saw that before. They've done this before. They drone mid, and then they delay push, delay exec into the B site.
But the counter drone from Shazam gives all the info, Dan. No one is in mid, and he knows that, look, he's rolling into the B site. They're going to have a 3-stack here before a frag even goes down.
Oh, the bait setup, though. Dapper's got to get something, but nothing. He gets absolutely nothing. And the same story for Tens, and that's a free B site now. Here coming through for Furia. And Sentinels, they're in a lot of trouble here. I'm not sure exactly how their money is at the moment, but this is a scary position to be in. They've only got the Seekers for the retake. Sick with the pickup onto Khalil, trying to set up in a forward position. We have a long rotation around from B main, coming through from QCK, looking for the craziest of timings.
really could be insane too, Dan, because he has the res, and if both of these Sentinel players end up in the site, that could come into play.
There we go. There it is, coming into play. Shazam will take down QCK. There's 2 players left here for Shazam to try to find, but he's on Sova. This will be difficult here for Shazam. No util to aid him, and there's the peek coming through from NZR. They'll finish off the round. Sentinels made it look scary at the end, but wow, that's a crazy one for Sentinels to lose out on.
Yeah, that looked rough, right? Because they had all of the information. All of the cards were visible to them there, right? They had the right reads. But again, the star player on the team in TenZ has that first shot, and it's just not landing right now. Which is crazy, because I was looking at his ACS before that round. It was 233.
Yeah.
XAN's average ACS in the last 90 days on a Jet only is 230. Like, this is a bad game for TenZ. That's how much of a star player he typically is.
And you can see TenZ this time going for that early A-main aggression, but we get great util coming through from Furia in that early setup to win that early control. They pick up the orb as well. So early victories here for them, and they've... Oh, never mind. Never mind. The rotation through to B here for Furia as well. But that's the lockdown gone, and that's a huge problem.
Yeah. Shaz knows this player's here. He broke the cam, and now the recon has not pinged him. That means Shaz knows this guy's aggressive. Mazin's aggressive in B main. The res is definitely coming in here. We're going to have a 5v5, Dan, and it's definitely ending in this B site. The wall's going to go up. Is Shaz going to be ready for this?
Yeah, that's a good question. Getting that lockdown back in play. There's the wall, the boost here for Xan, looking for it. There's the res on Khalil, so that will enable them to use a lockdown, but they're actually not going into the B side. They're going back into mid right now to catch the rotation from Catwalk, but there is no rotation just yet. Sentinels starting to put the pieces together. The ISOL comes in to slow things down. There's 30 seconds on the clock. How much damage does Sig get here? Nothing. Better angle for NZR as they now spill through the tree position into TenZ's crosshair, and he's slowing things down. They can't afford to lose this time. They've got 15 seconds to plant this spike, and I don't know how they get onto the side. They're coming through, but TenZ still locking things down. Cloudburst up high as he goes for the reposition, and he's got Zoms to fall back on as well. Zoms, though, it's just going to be on TenZ's shoulders, but looks like that is a steady pair of hands, but finally he'll go down, but he's done enough here. Dan. He's done enough. No time exactly for them to plant this spike. Oh,
wow. Wow. They just got bailed out big time from their young star in TenZ. And what a time for him to come up big, right? Every time it seems like Sentinels is on the verge of literally losing this map, right? They are falling far, very, very far behind right now on the defensive side of Ascent. TenZ has bailed them out, right? Even in this kind of average game from him, the Bladestorm round and now this round, massive impact coming his way. I think Furia has done such a good job of switching up the sites. And I actually thought this was a great read, catching Sick on Catwalk there. It's just the trading wasn't there.
Yeah, I was going to say, easiest Red Bull clutch of Shazam's life. Wasn't walking in. Yeah, win by time. We've got that, once again, into that mid presence. You up this from Sentinels, keeping the pressure on, forcing util to be used to push them off of these early positions.
You see, Sentinels doesn't really understand what's on. They're running back towards their spawn. They're breaking the turret in mid. Shaz is repositioning now into this B site. He's going to go, up on that platform. Maybe get ready to spam here. Still has the Odin.
Out of charges.
Yeah, Khalil has that lockdown that they were going to use or were thinking to use for that previous round. So it seems like they want to get the lockdown play in again.
That was an interesting little... Shaz just used a shock dart. And like you said, this lockdown's here. It's not going to get broken.
Oh, I think Shaz has been tagged. Yep, he'll go down. That's a big Hunter's Fury coming through there from Fury, but still have Dapper in position. Can they take down Dapper? They can't get past the angle just yet. Xan there at the back is looking to do all of the damage. He'll take out Dapper. That will unlock his other players to get into the site for the take and for that spike plant. But
30 seconds left.
TenZ is ever dangerous. He looks for a timing. There's a swing from Spawn, and the Cosmic Divide comes through defensively for Furia. Quick flash there from Sick, looking to try to gain some position. TenZ will take down one. It's looking quite labored here. but still good chance for Sentinels as they try to make their way forward. Sick able to take down one more, and a very desperate push from QCK, trying to find the timing, and that leaves it all down to NCR. They know that he's locked out by B main, and here comes the pressure. There goes the defuse. NCR gets one. Does Sick go for the stick? He tries to go for the spam. He has to run it down. I don't know if he has time. Sick not coming off of that defuse. My God, Sick with nerves of steel is going to win that one, and Sentinels pick up the round.
Wow, just the jump, Dan. Just the jump to get on that ledge was enough time for Sick to finish the defuse. I thought when he switched to the Phantom, it was the perfect play. He would catch the defuse. Everything was going perfectly, right? Wow. That is so lucky. I feel like Sentinels is so lucky right now in this half to have 5 rounds, Dan.
Yeah.
They need to buy a lotto ticket or something after this game. This is unreal, some of the clutches they have won in this half.
And going into the last round of the half, we have not a very good buy coming through from Furia. We'll have to see how they play this one out. Tens will take out that Blade Storm, see what he can do with it in this final round of the first half. We have, of course, control for A main with Furia. And I think Furia have a sense that it's this early cat presence once again. They've seen it a couple times here from Sentinels.
Spike dropped.
Triple setup on Catwalk. And I think at some point this round will probably go to Catwalk, because every time there's been a heavy top mid presence, that's where the strat goes.
Yeah, Furia with a slower pace than perhaps you would expect against Sentinels.
Dan, I will say the Nightmare Fuel is that quick walls off this tree position. He's done it before. So they can single off Tens and then just leave these two out of the picture, and the A side is theirs. That could very well happen right now, because we are grouping for a Furia cat hit.
Yeah, they're looking to set up an info trap here as well with this pause. I think Furia, they're looking to catch Sentinels playing over aggressively, but they're not doing it there. Content with this. Oh my God, that's disgusting from Tens. How does he find a headshot there? Picks Xand out of the sky, and now 4 versus 4. More frags from Tens. It absolutely is the Tens show right now. And what does Furia do here? They managed to get the spike planted. However, Tens is still alive, and that is obviously a problem. Here he goes, tries to find the pixel angles with that Blade Storm, but Marsden will take him down with the Guardian. 1 versus 3, and, well, never mind. Sentinels pick up the final round of the first half, and they're going to equalize here, 6-6. And let's not forget, we had a 5-0 streak early on from Furia.
A 5-0 streak with so many man-up scenarios after that too, right, Dan? It feels like this is at least an 8-4 half for Furia, but it ends 6-6. Both these teams are tied, and honestly, I don't know what Sentinels has in store, because like I mentioned before the game, we haven't even seen Sick on this role on attack side of Ascent.
Yeah, we saw some great stuff from Furia and also from Sentinels. It's feeling like a very great matchup so far, but now it's time to go for a quick break, so we'll hand it back over to the desk.
Thank you very much, gents. Equalizing there, Sentinels did to bring it to 6-6 on the first half, putting 6 of the last 7 rounds together in order to get us to that point. But Paperthin, I think that's where we got to start. The fact that they were even pushed the way they were, and in a lot of ways it happened the way you said it should. If Furia rather wants to take this, they've got to bring the fight, and they got to bring it early on the attacking side. Yeah,
it looked really, really good for them early. It was kind of what I wanted to see. Aggression, measured aggression. Though it's not like they're just kind of going at it from the word go. They're getting a little bit of information. They're hitting some good shots. They're following up off of each other. Some great combos with their utilities, and then all of a sudden the Sentinels start to turn it around.
It's the classic Sentinels download. You give Shavs a few rounds to kind of figure you out and start to look at the the ways or the tendencies that the team has. And I'm going to call out round number 6, the first one they picked up. It was an eco round, and it's Dapper pushing up into mid to get the positioning, to hear the footsteps on the KJ, ult fake over on A, catching them on the way to B. That's really where it all started to turn around.
You don't expect someone that deep. You don't expect anyone to hear you as you're running around. You're like, oh, this A fake, that's so easy. No one's going to tell. We're running around. We should be in. And then all of a sudden, there's multiple defenders waiting there. Like, how could they have known? How could they have read this? None of us knew until you pointed out Paperthin before. He's like, hang on. I think one of them was pushed up deep. He heard the footsteps. Imagine that's how you lose one of those crucial rounds, and it's very expensive as well.
And while it was Dapper with the positioning, as the rounds went on, it was TenZ who was finding the shots. He's top fragging for the team. We called him out at the top of the day. It's got to be the superstar. If you're going to take the World Championship, this is the guy who needs to perform every step of the way.
Yeah, he was a little cold to start. You could tell he was having a little bit of trouble dealing with these coordinated, aggressive pushes, especially on the B side. They move him over to A. They put him in some good positions where he can start getting some frags. He does a nice job in middle. He gets undetected there that one time, gets the free op shot into Khalil. He's doing a lot of nice stuff, and once he gets that op in his hands, he's so nasty to deal with.
Well,
His map positioning, I just wanted to point out, we were talking about the turret play there from Furia, and we're like, well, he knows how to just dip dive and dodge around all of those little areas that he doesn't need to be, and he doesn't want to be caught out. So I think that's something to show that the map knowledge here, even though Sentinels haven't played this in a while, is still coming out strong.
6-6, we are deadlocked even coming out of the first half. We dive into the second half, going back over to DDK and Sean Garris to see how it all plays out.
Thank you so much, Dash. Absolutely. What a match so far. Without TenZ, Sean, without TenZ, I fear what would have happened to Sentinels in that first half. But they rally it back 6-6 as we swap sides.
It's truly the crown jewel of NA after that half, right? But look at this. Oh, my goodness, Dan. We have a mid collapse from Furia and mid gathering at top mid from Sentinels. There's going to be a bloodbath.
And we get a trade on to Mr. TenZ straight away, but here comes Xan down cat, and he looks like he's hungry to push the issue all the way. The dash is able to help him survive, and backing away is difficult. Does have support here, but that cage from Dapper enabled him to isolate Xan there. So that's just Dapper with those Cypher things. But still, 3 versus 3 on the reset with over a minute to go. Sentinels have plenty of time to figure this one out.
Dan, is that an Astra with a Sheriff on a pistol round? Mazen is such a Chad. I love that. I love that. Sentinels regrouping for the A hit here. And this is actually a great setup from Furia. They have the Sage in the site, QCK making first contact. And I mentioned Mazen on catwalk. He's going to be quick there to rotate.
QCK. Oh, that's some good tagging. Mazen unable to find the finishing blows, though. And QCK, unfortunately for Furia, goes down very quickly on the site. Don't believe they broke the door, actually, so this will be pretty easy and telegraphed. They're just going to swing to win here, Furia, and this is very, very tough. All these pieces coming through. There's just one left, though. But a huge health advantage for Zoms and Mazen. Oh, my goodness! He somehow finds that one with the headshot. Unbelievable. Zoms had so many advantages, Sean.
Oh, my goodness. He had the frenzy, too, Dan. All he needed to do was connect a bullet or two. But that Chad Sheriff, it comes up so big.
You called it.
That's incredible that he clutches that round. Furia has both pistols in this game, Dan.
Look at that Brazilian confidence.
They are a live dog right now in this matchup. They look like they could take this.
Yeah, it is sometimes hard to beat the Brazilian confidence, the Brazilian fire, the passion.
Yes, we both knew it's coming. Eventually, this scene is going to be incredible and just demolish everyone.
Yep.
It's coming.
Absolutely.
One of these tournaments.
And hey, I mean, that sharp shooting with the Sheriff from Mazen may have been the reason for the tag pause here.
Yes, I would probably break a monitor.
Absolutely. I mean, this is crazy. I mean, as we were discussing previously, we have more of a moment to go into some of these details here. We do have changes for Sentinels. You know, there are the rumors that Shaz will be on Sova, predominantly, in fact, I think all except Split, where he might be playing Sky, and so that's one big change. And we haven't seen much data on this team, so it's hard to know where they're at, even though they're such a top dog.
Yeah, it's one of those things where Shaz always played a little bit of Sova, right? Never a lot before TenZ joined the team, right? He was always playing Jett. He even dabbled with a little bit of Reyna before TenZ joined the team. But ever since TenZ joined, he's recognized the fact that he's the in-game leader. He has this star player, this special player on his team that should be on the star duelist role. Shaz, you know, selflessly gave that up, and he's now taken on the Sova role. He's way behind as far as practice goes compared to the other Sovas, but I think he does a great job of finding new arrows and, you know, making sure he's getting the ult economy going like a lot of the other top Sovas are doing in the scene.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm looking forward to seeing how it starts to flow as they get deeper into the tournament, because I think that's at least the assumption I think most of us have. There's going to be a lot of games that we should probably be seeing from Sentinels, but getting back into the game a little bit and talking somewhat about Furia.
Sure.
They've got the Sage, and we've seen that the Sage Catwall defense come in vogue, and so that's going to be, I think, a point of contention that should be quite interesting and dynamic that I'm looking forward to here for this matchup. Is there any points around that you think is particularly interesting for you?
Yeah, I'm literally smiling because I was thinking about the Sage right now. I was thinking about all the innovative things that they did on the attack side, right? I say innovative lightly. We've seen all these things before, but the wall at tree, where QCK was able to peek over that, get the frag at window. The wall at A main, where peeking over the Nebula at A main, gets the frag onto Raptors. There's so many of these little quirky walls that gifted frags to either him or his teammates, the one in B main. How are we going to see that happen on defense right now? Because now, he can control the flow of a round. So I guarantee you there's a lot of trick walls we have coming our way. But right now we have a super heavy mid setup with 3 players, one that we mentioned, that Sage, and an alarm bot between them.
Yes, and we don't have a drone from Shazam around market, so I don't think we're going to see that kind of drone take it. They're all grouped up, though, looking to go together, I would imagine. But Furia, as you noted, a lot of mid presence. Not the team spotting anything just yet. Both teams wanting to see what the other team is going to do in terms of first action. Yeah,
this is a terrifying setup, actually. I would be willing to bet this is a bit of a counter. Maybe Furia has a read that Sentinels likes to clear out mid on these rounds and then go into a site hit, right? Trying to pull a rotation into mid. They like to break this alarm bot, and that's why they put the alarm bot in the middle. It's a bait. They're trying to actually force Sentinels into this bait setup.
And the last thing you want to do against Sentinels in a round like this, where you've picked up that pistol, is give them the opportunity to pop off with the Marshal or the Sheriff, give them that long-range damage. That's how they get into this round. So you can see that's being completely denied. A mid-round or even late-round drone comes through. That gives a lot of information to Furia to help them understand how to position. But with that said, rotation is looking like it's coming here for Sentinels through to Cat.
What a read, too, because if you look at this, the Astra is solo in A Raptors. This site is definitely going to be lost. The plant will certainly go down. And there's going to be a 5-on-5 retake, Dan.
And I mean, there should be a lot of close-range engagements for those SMGs to really pay off, but Marzen actually ahead of the Nebula here, looking to find some early damage. Knows where the spike's being planted, can call out the gen plant. There's a whiff, though. Or did he get to... Actually, no, he got tagged. Who am I kidding? It's Tens, of course. You can see the pressure coming through now as they set up the retake. Oh, that's a huge wall, and that is going to trigger 4 kills in quick succession from Furia, and there's no response because there's a big fat wall in the way. Zoms, though, biding his time. They don't know where he is, but there are plenty of players to cover every eventuality. What a setup from Furia.
What a setup. It's actually incredible. The walls from QCK have won so many rounds for Furia. This Sage has been pivotal to the success, and that's something you rarely say when you watch these pro games of VALORANT. The Sage just seems to be a support player. They do a little bit of here, a little bit of there. This is like very impactful walls we're seeing out of QCK in this match.
And it gives them that prime gaming flawless, and that's so important. We also saw Furia capitalizing quite well off of the first pistol in the first half as well, and just playing out these anti-ecos really effectively. That's always a very good sign as we go into this next round.
And look at the difference here. So Marzen as an Astra, unlike Zoms, is aggressively peeking into A main, right? He has this info. He's forcing people to take this line from him with abilities. So that's a piece of utility Sentinels will need to expend to push him off that angle, to force more of a rotate into this A site, because otherwise we're still dealing with the triangle setup on mid.
Trailblazer coming through into mid to spot information, but that gets shut down. So not a lot of info garnered from that one. Here comes the clearance. That's a fantastic shock dog. There's that defensive reaction with the Ice Orb. Xan able to get out of position as well. So a minute left, and this is good information, good clearance of utility from Sentinels so far.
Yeah, this is a great job by Sentinels. They've completely broken up that mid setup, and they've wasted all the utility on those players. But now they're going right into the stack, Dan.
And but Marzen able to take down TenZ, who knew that he had a weak opponent, but it doesn't seem to matter too much. Sentinels doing a great job in dealing the damage. They're going to have a spy plant here, but still 2 players left alive. Spectres though for Khalil and then ZR in the retake. And I believe the door is down, so they only have to look at rafters right now. Sentinels have all the information. That's some quick information there. Seeing, hearing who shot the dart as it came through. As they edge their way forward, but lacking health, lacking utility. Need that first kill, and it's not going to be given. It's 6 first kill instead, and the second for the triple. And Sentinels, beautiful round, really.
Yes.
Such a great mid-round to late-round play.
It's crazy, Dan, because they actually got outplayed on this round by Furia. We saw that same 1-3-1 setup. 1 on A, 3 in mid, 1 on B, right? And Sentinels prodded into mid so slowly. They worked their way into that triangle setup. They wasted all that utility. But Furia, it's almost as if they knew that once they got pushed off, Sentinels would go into the A hit. They were trying to pull them off of the A site. And Furia read that perfectly. They stacked A ahead of time.
Well, we have Xan now on the operator for the first time here on the defensive side, looking to gain control around mid.
Ooh, Zom's gonna peek. Zom's.
Gotta be careful. That's gonna take. Oh, actually, Xan gets tagged by the drone as well. And then, oh, look how quick they are behind that. Straight up into market with the Seekers. Sick looking for the entries. Catches Khalil without the gun in hand. They're so quick. Xan, though, still on the site. Still with the operator. Rotation's coming in, and they're trying to slow this one down. Furia are trying to slow it down, and the Cosmic Divide, that might slow it down enough to allow the rotation to come in to help. Reaction though.
Either that or it's created a prison for these B players, Dan, because now they're trapped behind their own Cosmic Divide.
Yeah, not a good look, and you know that they are completely boxed in, so there goes the spike all the way to the A site. So you like the idea, well, the idea is cool, the reactive Cosmic Divide to buy time, but after those 2 kills in spawn from Sentinels, it just fell apart. But can they keep the operator alive? That's the mission right now, but Zan walks straight into it. They were never letting him out of that cage.
Dear God, Dan, the amount of utility that hit Xan that round was incredible. It was insane. He got hit by what? A trail... I'm going in reverse here. A Trailblazer, a Nova Pulse, a Gravity Well, a Seeker.
But tagged by the drone as well.
Tagged by the drone as well. I mean, what a round. The Initiators just tore this man up.
Yeah, the timing was so fast from Sentinels. They just, you could see that they were caught completely off guard. Khalil just holding util by the boathouse there. So yeah, really problematic, but 8-8, we're all tied up, and it will be an eco for Furia. That round broke their economy. And we've got a fast B movement from Sentinels. And speaking of catching people off guard, actually, it looked like Zap out of timing. Oh no, Khalil finds one as well. They can't capitalize. Sick tries to trade. Khalil!
Through the cloud burst in.
How dare he?
Woo!
That is
2
crazy.
on 4 now in Furia's favor. Now they don't have a lot of guns to work with, but Khalil has, he's farmed this lockdown.
Absolutely bodacious plays from Furia on the defense now. Sentinels have to recover that spike. They've got no other options.
I mean, I don't even know what you do if you're Sentinels right now. They have to get a frag. Maybe Shaz can pop a blind Hunter's Fury, or maybe he can get a little bit of info.
They managed to grab it at least. It's 50 seconds. I mean, the problem is that Furia, they have to assume that Furia has pushed other parts of the map.
Yeah, but the first mission here in this type of scenario, Dan, is get the spike with a lot of time on the clock. And the reason being is you have to allow that seed of doubt to form in the defense's mind. They have to think that you fell back. And that's just not happening because, as you mentioned, the Furious
well,
the Actors top mid, but the frags are all going Sentinel's way.
They've actually now, they forced their way into advantage now. This is, officially they have advantage now. 2 versus 2, better weapons on the after plant. Here comes QCK. The cheeky shot's not working out for him or his teammates, but Marzen could perhaps change the story. Or maybe not, it's been spotted now, so this is very tough. However, Shazam is 1 bullet away. But is he ever peeking? He doesn't have to. He's playing a setup that his Zoms will take first contact and then Shazam can peek. It's a simple, tried and tested setup, and Zoms is going to absolutely destroy Marzen. What a recovery. Was that 2 versus 4? I think it was.
It was indeed a 2 on 4. Another scenario where Furia has an advantage of players. and they're not playing those situations correctly. They have very, very good early round setups, utility traps, but once Sentinels slows down these mid rounds, it gets them to make decisions without their utility, decisions without a plan ahead of time. Sentinels has come up big in all of those scenarios so far.
Yeah, a team with unlimited clutch. But we have the operator back in hand for Xand. He's looking for that mid jump peak. And he will get tagged, unfortunately, and unable to hold that position any longer. And in the meantime, Sentinels taking some space towards B main. Furia win A main control once again. Trailblazer goes down, looking for info outside of B main into the B site. There's that cat wall as well.
Yeah, and Sentinels has taken B main. They're trying to force the Sova to rotate over to B to help out Killjoy. They've done that. They have done their goal, and now they will go back to A main and try to take this engagement. This is a very dangerous situation for Mazen because of all of this initiator utility.
And with that wall still up, it gives Furia an easy understanding that they don't have to look towards Cat just yet. There comes out Hunter's Fury, the flash as well to Mazen, but he's totally fine. Dodges the Hunter's Fury. Very nice. Seekers come through from Sentinels to try to entry into the site here. And looks like they may be to push things back, but there's Xand. Oh, he doesn't get one. That's crazy. Very unfortunate there for Xand and Furia. The Sentinels start to spill into the site, and there goes the spike planting as well. And they've got a great hold here. This is going to take a lot from Furia, but they are just losing absolutely everybody. Look at Shazam go, and Sentinels will shut it down. And that's a huge round to win. That's where you want to see Furia come back into it.
Yeah, and that's just one of those classic veteran rounds, right? You can feel it all throughout the round. The trip is set up over at A. They're trying to fight a little bit for mid control, but they're really, really pushing back B main. They're fighting for the orb. They're trying to filter rotations into this B site. And once they feel like you don't have the info at B, and they've almost forced in their minds a theoretical second player B, they're going to hit A. And they did. They used both of the initiator ults. The Hunter's Fury comes out, takes out quick. The Seekers come out, find Mazen. And the site just falls so quickly at that point. That was a fantastic round by Sentinels.
Yeah, it truly was. I mean, we're seeing a lot of great stuff from Furia, but certainly the experience of Sentinels is shining through at the moment. And I think for the sake of context, it is worth mentioning that for Furia to have a solid chance of winning this series, their best chance, they have to win the first map. Going into the second map, you would have them at a big disadvantage, as in general, we see that permaban being bind, but Breeze is a map that they don't tend to play too much in general. So this is certainly going to be a better look for them than their average Breeze game.
Yes.
So we'll have to see what happens when we get to Breeze. But from what we know and understand right now, there's a lot of pressure on this one for them.
Exactly. I hate to look ahead, but yeah, like you mentioned, they haven't played Breeze since, I think it was August. It's been a long time. So we still have a lot of rounds here to play, though. 10-8, Sentinels in the lead. But they finally have this economic advantage, the round advantage, and you have to feel like all of the momentum has shifted into their favor at this point.
I totally agree with you. And so do quite well off of these pistols previously. See if they can do it again, although they can close that one. Oh, Sentinels. I was going to say they're playing that kind of very passive anti-eco setup in the early round. And there we go, we get a catch. Mazen goes down towards A main.
And this stand is just, this is what happens when you run a default, right? And what I mean by that is Zoms has done this every round. He's played super passive around A. I even pointed out earlier, he gave up A main control, right? Mazen's kind of wondering in the back of his head, can I just push through this? Is anyone here? I mean, you would hate to go through the whole match and have there be no one there when you look back at the VOD. So he tests it out here, gets burned, and now look at this 3-on-5. Shaz runs.
Wow.
What?
He just doesn't give a damn.
Spike planted.
Doesn't give a damn, Shazam. The man through the smoke, but it's going to be tough to get some damage from this one. Sentinels, they saw the Brazilian confidence and they're meeting it with some of their own. It's a nice little frag at the end of it, and if we're going to get a comeback from Furia, well, we've got 4 ultimates. They're ahead on the ultimate economy, and so if it's going to happen, it has to be now. Sentinels on 11. This is now Furia's best chance to get back into this ascent.
Yeah, and I think they really need Xan to come up big. He had a lot of key moments in that first half where he was creating space, getting some first bloods on some of those rounds in the first half, but he has been absent in this second half. He's having some of the same struggles we saw TenZ have. But I will give credit to Sentinels. Their initiators and the utility they have used across the map has helped that tremendously.
Yeah, we can see that. We've got Sage there, QCK in market. 3 players here, quick to a response on the defense for Furia. Oh, Xander's in a dodgy position. Oh, they'll shoot out the Trailblazer for him so he can get the pick onto Dapper. Beautiful early setup there from Furia. There goes that wall in mid. What does that tell Sentinels? They're starting to rotate very quickly to Catwalk.
Yeah, what it tells them is that Sage was mid. She wants to rotate as quick as possible to B to help the teammates out, so they know 3 people are B. They're trying to quickly come into this A site. There's the tree smoke going down. 2 by A main. Getting slowed down, Dan.
Yeah, the Hunter's Fury comes in too, trying to catch them going through toward tree, but 50 seconds, there's actually a lot of time for Sentinels still. They walk through. Oh, the angle from Khalil is great. And Marston's there to back it up. It's TenZ on the other side of it, though. It's just TenZ and Zoms. They're split. 1 A main, 1 Catwalk, and time is against them now. 40 seconds to go. A full rotation from the defense of Furia on this A site. They don't have to give anything here. They can force Sentinels to go deep, but Xan wants to take control of this one. But there's still TenZ, and he has a Blade Storm. Again, not much time there. TenZ needs to get the action. And they're going to give it to him. And he's going to get caught by NCR. Beautiful finish there from Furia. We said they had to win the round. They do so only expending 1 of their ultimates. So they're still in good stead moving forward.
4 people alive. The operator remains in Xan's hands. That is the perfect round if you're looking for Furia to win this game. Sentinels has a lot of money to work with, though, Dan. They're going to be able to buy this round and potentially another round after this due to the Blade Storm on TenZ. So Furia has their work cut out for them right now. They're going to need to string together rounds. And Sentinels, they're spreading out in this base default, and Xan's going to get aggressive on B again.
Can he find anything? Oh, we know that Dapper wants to do it. Waiting as long as he could, hoping that Dapper would peek behind that Trailblazer, but no. Dapper knows better. And there goes the drone. And Dapper's going to try to deal with that one. Everybody else evacuates, and we'll get a fast rotation from Sentinels towards A main. A main has been Marsden's territory, and they'll hear the pickup of the ultimate orb.
Yeah, and meanwhile, QCK has taken control B main, walled, and is on the wall. All of the info, Dan. The stack is coming into A right now.
And this is going to be a tough one. The Cosmic Divide will block off that Raptors position. That will commit players from Fury to drop through. And you can see the Sentinels are beyond the angle. They're able to defend, but the lineup comes through. But Marsden only able to find 1 from that one. And now Furia, they're in so much trouble here. They're in so much trouble. Do they try to commit the weapons into this one? Will they have enough for another operator? I don't know. They need an argument to go forward. They need somebody to give them something for them to want to commit their entire weaponry into this site. But I don't think that's happening right now, Sean.
Oh no, with Dapper in this corner right now, are they going to clear this? He peeks out. That's the info, Dan. This might be the in that you were talking about.
Looking for the angle, but if there's a man that knows this angle, it's Dapper. Trying to tease him out here, but he's so patient. And just continuation spray. He expects a trade fragger to come forward, and they are committing at least 1 extra, well, 2 extra guns there. Xan will escape with that operator, but 12 rounds to Sentinels coming up.
Yeah, and I mean, not many teams in Valorant have come back against the leading Sentinels team, Dan. This is a graveyard of losers. Not many teams successful when Sentinels hits this 12th round. So Furia has their work cut out for them, but you mentioned it before, they have some ults to work with. The Res is there, the Blade Storm is there, they have an operator, the Lockdown's there, the Cosmic Divide's there. They have so many things to work with, right? Yes. So 3 rounds is not out of the question. This is not an impossible comeback for Furia right here. And they have the alarm bot deeper into mid now. That tells me Furia isn't going to play aggressive here this round.
And they swap Sage QCK back to A main as well, so they move QCK around a lot. Looking for aggressive A main control. They could find Zoms here. Hunter gets unleashed.
It's a blind ult onto the Killjoy connector, and she dodges everything. Zom's getting pushed A main. There's a trip protecting him, but he's out. This is a fast mid B split, Dan.
Yeah, absolutely. That wall on A main means nothing, and it's going to be all down to NZR trying to defend, trying to get ahead of this one. Tens is around the corner of that play store, but in comes Xan as well, and trying to capitalize, just use some element of surprise to his advantage, but Jet diffed by Tens. Marzen and QCK remaining. There goes the res. Oh, Khalil will be not able to get up there. Shazam with the punish, and it's looking like Sentinels are about to pick up map 1 of this series. All that stands in their way now is Marzen. And that Cosmic Divide is going to be somewhat helpful, but there's so many players here. There's that quick pop flash, and actually Sig flashes himself, but doesn't matter. Shazam, the fearless leader of Sentinels, will take it over the line for his side. It was a noble effort by Furia, but we needed just a little bit more.
Yeah, that was an incredible showing by Furia. I thought they looked like the better team up into the game. But once Sentinels got their footing, stabilized, the nerve shook off of Tens maybe, they really settled into this game, and they looked really, really solid tactically on the attack half.
Yeah, and it's interesting, right? Because we haven't seen Sentinels, the addition that's playing at Champions just yet. As we had mentioned previously, not much data on them. They're definitely a team that everybody's watching out for in this tournament. We have Shazam now on that Sova. We're going to see him on that role more often. And we're going to see top fragging. Yeah, yes. There you go.
Yeah, at the top of the leaderboard, an ACS of 291 on the Sova roll, ahead of Tens. Ahead of Tens, Dan.
All right, well, with that said, Sean, it is time to throw it to a quick break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back
or somebody else play it, but I feel like I'm
surely.
pretty sure he's playing Jet, so that's kind of where I'm going with it. I mean, it's that pinpoint accurate, utility and guns that he's so unbelievable with.
Do you want to know how accurate the man is?
I would love this.
You know what? We're going to do a guessing game.
Oh, boy.
Guess on attack in the past 2 times they've played this map. Tens is ACS. I'll even let you within a range.
320.
320?
I'll go 340.
400 and... Wait. 454.
No.
Oh,
You're just making stuff up, right?
Yeah, I'm just getting on the desk and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to be a Tens fangirl. That's what's up. 454 in the past 2 matches. That's on attack. We know that's where he's going to reign supreme. You're a little bit closer on defense.
That's
it's
gross.
390.
That's just gross.
But that's
okay, well, they start on defense, so 390. Maybe that's surmountable. I don't know. As we get a reminder here as we jump to the giant AR map, we've mentioned this before, but it is a key factor when it comes to Breeze, the open space. Sentinels on defense. We'll see if Furia maybe going back to some of that pace setting that Hypoc was just illustrating to us on the telestrator. We saw Gambit with some explosiveness on site takes, able to get the plant in 12 out of 12 rounds and defend it every single time. I gotta wonder if Furia is capable of something similar. I obviously don't expect a 12-0, but can they get onto the site? Can they start picking apart Sentinels and really spread the map out?
Yeah, I'd like to see them be a little bit more measured with their aggression, get a little bit more information, find out where Tens is, where those snipers are, and see if you can play around it. Now, that doesn't mean a lot because behind Tens, of course, is an unbelievably disgusting team. I mean, we've talked about him all day, but Zoms was great on that last match. Dapper was one of the big parts of their turnaround. Shazam, of course, is just, he had the highest ACS. All of it across the board behind Tens is so important.
No Killjoy? Okay, I was about to turn around and say, what can Furia do? Maybe hit the flank sub, because they usually run a Killjoy instead of the Cypher, and Dapper goes, shut up, Jess, please. I have my flanks covered. You don't need to worry, girlfriend. It's all good. So I now have nothing to pick apart about this composition.
Yeah, it's that Cypher Viper combo that we have seen to great success before. Of course, it's just your pick. Which of the Sentinels do you like to see? So for Khalil, he's going to stick to that KJ, what he was finding individual success on in map number 1. We'll see if he can continue to be a difference maker for the squad and maybe give them a map win here and push us to that 3rd and final. But they've got a lot of work to do, and as you mentioned, it's going to have to start on the attacking half. We'll see if they can kind of have that measured aggression that they need to start really bringing it to Sentinels.
Yeah, and I think one of the stylistic differences that's going to come into play here is the Killjoy, because that gives you an extra layer of post-plant utility on the attacker side with the nano swarms. So for this, again, we talk about it already. I'm just kind of reinforcing the point of how important this attacker side is. And also, they haven't played this map in a long time. And when the last time they played it, attacker side was where they got their bread and butter done. They still lost to Keed Stars, but it's all about the attacker side here.
I mean, that's why most teams get their bread and butter done on Breeze, you know what I mean? They hit the attacking half strong, they go sit in their little lawn chair, whatever you guys call it, the beach chair. I come from Australia, so we got different funky words for everything. And you're under the palm trees and sit it nicely. But for those wondering, at least in the past couple of times Sentinels have played this, they have a pretty good split on both attack and defense. Yes, slightly a sort of attacking side, but even in their last 2 games, they actually fared better on their defense. Comes out of starting side sometimes, of course, so it's going to skew it, but that doesn't mean that we can't look towards those stats and go, hang on, they might do good on both halves.
Well, it's going to be an uphill battle for Furia if they want to take us to a map 3 on Sentinel's choice. It's Breeze. Can they make it happen? DDK, Sean, over to you.
Can they make it happen? That's a great question, Dash. Again, we kind of set it up previously. Breeze, it's not necessarily the look for Furia that you would expect to have them find success against Sentinels on, but hey, man, there's been a lot of time to prep, so we'll see.
7-map map pool, so you got to be good at 6 of them now, Dan, because you only get 1 ban. You only get 1 ban, and this is the triple elbow push coming out of Sentinels. So rare. They could have the option to go into mid where they would meet Xand. Right? I'm curious to see how Mazen is going to play this Sky over here at Elbow. The coordination between Xand and Mazen is really going to affect how this round plays out.
Yeah, will they be ready for the aggression? Tens creeping down mid, gets a couple of spots, the damage comes through. It's Xand, though, to take down Dapper. Can he find anything else? Tens still out there looking for the damage, and he will get it off of the distraction. And that's a good start, ultimately, here for Tens, because, I mean, they're looking for that information. Gonna get it. Keep the pressure on. 3 versus 4 now for Sentinels as we see Furia beginning to move behind the wall towards that A site. You got Soms there as well, right behind that wall, and he's certainly ready to try to punish this one. Oh, he takes critical damage. Tens though. Oh, that looked painful from a distance. Comes Tens once again with the Sheriff. He's everywhere.
But look at this, Dan. Mazen is telling his team to come back over to this B site. You know, NCR's a little bit skeptical that there could have been a player that pushed mid, so moving at a snail's pace right now. But this B site is completely open. He has all the time in the world. The spike will go down. We'll be in a 2-on-3. And judging by the look of Mazen right now, he might take an aggressive ground on defender spawn, which would lead me to believe NCR is going to plant aggressively as well. This could get interesting.
Yeah, because they have to assume a rotation's coming from the defenders by now. So not seeing anyone in spawn is a good tell for Furia for this post-spawn. Oh no, caught out in the open. It's all on Mazen. He at least has a ghost. So has more range to play with, but the wall comes through. Oh wow, it's tagged immediately. Quick pop flash through. It's going to see 2 players, but there's nothing that you can do about it.
No flash for 30 seconds, Dan. There's no time.
Just touches the wall, and he's already down to 6 HP, and there is the defuse. You're absolutely right, Sentinels, very well done. Off of the mid pressure, that was a very tenuous scenario for Furia to try to contend with.
Yeah, that's a very difficult scenario for Furia to deal with. I don't really see very often 3 players pushing out of elbow on B site, right? This was always designed to shut down any mid aggression. So unlike, you know, the first map, Dan, which was Furia's choice, we now have Sentinels finally winning a pistol.
I got there, Ozzy.
That's a very good point.
Oof. Oh, look at this. We have another mid stack here, and based on the spacing, this is going to be an A split, but it won't even get there.
They've got the force coming through as well. It's the Sheriff to kick things off here for QCK. Furia, 5 versus 4, but Dapper, don't think they expect him here. Dapper could come out huge. Multiple players, and there he goes for it. It's actually Dapper to take down QCK, but now they spotted him. Can't get more. Oh, well, there. He absolutely can. Xand will go down, but Mazen with the trades leaves it in a 3v2 advantage. Zom's now trying to play the element of surprise again, but Furia have players in position, and they were able to deal with everything Sentinels have thrown at them so far, but it's the hardest test last.
Indeed. Tens remaining with this Guardian in hand. Spike still not planted, just coming into the site right now. Mazen planting in that right pyramid.
That's close. Nice spotted against the Guardian. Tens, oh, he can't get anything done, Mazen. That's 3 kills for Mazen. Such an important player in mid, supporting his teammates, trading out, and it was a force buy. So, Sean, yes. Yeah, Sentinels win their first pistol, but actually it kind of plays against them, doesn't it?
Yeah, they don't like starting these matches off on the right foot, do they, Dan? And this was a round where it just seemed like they were trying to flex their confidence that they ended that first map in, and it bit them. It bit them real hard. They overextended into mid, and Furia hit some nutty shots to punish them. Yeah. A site was lost so quickly.
Yeah, Furia have a great sense of where to take, but they understand where the map is weak.
Yes.
Quite quickly. Looks like they want to go very quick into this B site. They've got the wall up. 2 players here. Can they make the entries work for themselves? Flashes to follow as well. Still though, Sick holding with that frenzy at the backside, but surely not long for this world. So many players coming through, and indeed, it's going to be Dapper to be able to do something. Only peeling off 1 hit, just have sneaks to the back lines, but just with the classic, will get denied. And 1 by 1, Sentinels not able to find the kills that they're looking for.
Just like that first map, Tens is just looking to get his ult orbs built up on this Marshall. It's pretty unlikely they actually, I say that, but 3 of these players can die from 1 Marshall shot, Dan. It could happen.
The wall kind of intermittently going up and down causes problems, and actually Khalil on the Killjoy, making it happen there, and that's almost a flawless, not quite, but 4 players survive, which is certainly key, because, of course, Sentinels, they force bought against Furia's previous force buy, and the force buy wars have been won by Furia.
I feel like I'm in some kind of force buy inception. Just everyone's force buying.
You know it.
Now, how does Sentinels approach this gun round, Dan? Because we have seen them play so aggressive in middle, and this is different, because now we have Shazam by the close A mid doors, we have Zoms locking down this A site, but again, we have Sick playing a bit aggressive over on B with a Sentinel player in Dapper. Very interesting combo. fall back. This is such a different look from Sentinels, who typically had Zoms nesting in this B site, and they allowed Dapper to play Killjoy, actually, and play the A site. Such a different look that Furia is dealing with. They're trying to scout out the map, just get a feel for things, see how Sentinels are set up. You can see this is now going to be shifted towards the B site. So Viper has clung onto that wall, and you can see QCK is going to make his way over to B, where he's going to put that wall up. I'm curious if he does the same one as last round, Dan, or if he goes through that half.
I've got your trail.
It is. Yeah. It's the same one.
And they're the Seekers as well. That's going to help them discover exactly where these defenders are. 2 on the sites. After playing close to the pillar, wants to try to get these forward kills, and will be stuck in the snake bite there, unfortunately for him. And backside 6 going to go down. Another good execute comes through from Furia. The Viper's pick comes in, but Tens, he tries to get ahead of it. But again, look at all the vision that's just completely gone because of the Viper's pit. They're going to have to go into it. And Tens looks to find the timing. Oh, he actually catches it before the spike goes down. That's a huge kill. Now time is against him. Khalil on that flank, able to pick off one more. It's up to Tens, and Tens just, again, is such a coin flip in the Viper's pit, and Xan will take full advantage. 3-1 lead for Furia now.
Oh, man, I don't know what version of Sentinels we're seeing right now on the defensive side, Dan, but it's lacking all creativity and imagination. When I watch Furia come into the site, all of their utility is synergized so well with each other, right? Zan creating space with the dash, the guiding lights coming in from Mazin, the wall coming in from QCK, everything is perfect. But when you look at Sentinels, you just see, you know, Dapper taking an individual fight at Pillar, Sick taking an individual fight over there in the corner. Everyone's taking individual fights on Sentinels, and that ended up working in the first map because their attack had bailed them out. But if they start bad here, it could be rough.
Yeah, we have, like we saw in the last anti-eco scenario for Furia, they just go for a site hit. This time it's A instead of B. Seekers are available for Sick, for Sentinels, if they want to try to go for a retake with them. They're already close here, Sentinels looking for the frags, but we have a beautiful display from Furia on this defense. Tens looking to wrap around. No HP. Can he find anything? No. It's the Prime Gaming flawless coming through for Furia. And once again, Sean, just like Ascent, it's a strong start. The question is, can they keep it rolling?
Yeah, they're going to need to keep it rolling right now because this is an attack-sided map, right? Ascent, I can argue it could go either way, right? But Breeze, it's such a big spread out map that you can really abuse the rotations when you slow things down, use this Viper wall to cut off massive sight lines, and you can just bleed out the defender rotations. So being up 4-1 seems fantastic, but Sentinels could easily rally back and put them in a horrible spot to end this first half.
Oh, we might just get a straight contact through to this B site. They're just, in fact, yeah, absolutely going for it. There goes the dash. You talked about Xan being good at creating space for the team, and he's already got backside control, so they know that Sentinels are everywhere but here right now, and we're going to get a plant. And lots of util for the retake, including the Seekers available still for Sick.
Do have a lot of utility, Dan, but this is a scenario where in the past, Sentinels had a Viper wall on the B site to work with on these retakes. This retake is going to be incredibly difficult, and if Khalil pops this lockdown, that's going to make it nearly impossible.
Yeah, that toxic screen going up again. It's really difficult to deal with. Sick is making some noise there on the flank, so they know that flank is compromised. But on the front, QCK will get all the kills from backside. Beautiful stuff there. Speaking of which, Sick able to get some damage in, but there's just simply not enough left. Furia, fantastic round, great take, and abusing, as you said, the fact that the toxic screen was already in play for Sentinels on the A site early on.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Sentinels has any answer to these B hits, Dan. It looks like they're only prepared to stop A hits, which is typically where the attacks happen on Breeze. Unfortunately, you have to stop the B ones too, Dan. You got to stop them both. And this B site is under siege right now, and that's going to open up the playbook for Furia. If I'm IGLing them right now, I'm thinking, man, we could just keep going B forever. We could fake B, and they would definitely bite. And it opens up this A site in rounds like this.
And this is the thing, you know, we've seen Furia oscillate between A and B on the anti-eco. This time, Tens does have that Blade Storm. He will be likely coming in through the mid doors. So he wants to get that action in early and get the kills in early. We'll see if he can find something. Again, that wall obscuring vision. Will we get an updraft? There comes the updraft. Tens able to take down one. 3 quick kills, quick succession comes through for Sentinels. And there's little response here right now from Furia. They are in a lot of trouble. And there goes the Thrifty in favor of Sentinels, and they're going to pick up a lot of guns.
Whoever wrote these scripts, Dan, it's getting old because this is like the same formula as Ascent. I feel like we're on the same formula. TenZ Bladestorm comes out, huge round from Sick, TenZ, Zoms. Everyone came up so big from Sentinels. They needed that to come back into this half.
Yeah.
We have mentioned it's an attack-sided map, but you cannot just get blown out of the water. It's not that attack-sided. And they do, you know, Furia has a lot to work with right here. That lockdown, it doesn't have as much impact on a massive map like Breeze. Yeah. But still, I have seen tons of success when Killjoys aggress into A halls and use it aggressively early round, or push up B. You know, use it in the middle of an execute as opposed to start the execute. Rounds like that seem very successful on Breeze. So I'm scared if I'm Sentinels right now. I'm gonna probably be, you know, resorting to, if they have a deeper gameplay than the one we've seen so far where they're taking individual fights, they're going to have to resort to that.
Yeah. No, I totally agree, and I think it is interesting in that, yes, as you say, it does look quite similar to the way the first map started in this series, but indeed, the looks on the defense are certainly, I mean, we're struggling to see hope in terms of a consistently good approach from Sentinels so far. Of course, there's still the rest of the half to play out, and we'll be kicking it off once again here. 5-2 in the lead off Furia.
This is their tried and true, right? I mean, the difference would be that Dapper's on Cypher, so now he can loan his trip over there to the Doors Lurk in halls. So he has one trip over by Tree, by Pyramids, and now Zoms is on this B site where he'll throw the Poison Orb at B main, he'll have the retake wall ready, and actually, if you look at that, the ult comes out right off the rip over there at B.
Yeah, the response here will be very interesting. How do Furia want to handle this? But first, we have this challenge in mid. Oh, the angle for TenZ finds the perfect timing. Couldn't be better.
Couldn't be better. Yeah, that was very risky. Playing with the drone, catches the timing on Xhand, who actually has the Bladestorm as well. What a huge find.
And now it's even worse, because that Viper's pit is down on B. And, you know, it really is a question of what do we do here. And we can see them gravitating towards that B side. They do have, of course, as we can see, Marsden deep here towards halls, takes the fight. That was a pretty good fight to take, but unfortunately, it does not go Furia's way.
Yeah, and that's actually, I believe, Shaz's first frag of the game, so he's on the board now. And the elbow lurk is on for Furia. You can see that's their Poison Orb. They get behind it. They take the angle into Nest, push Shaz off, recollect that orb, and now pushing him back a little bit more.
Toxins going up.
But again, as it's a 3 versus 5,
30 seconds
or I should say 5 versus 3 from Sentinel's perspective, they don't have to do anything crazy here. They have eyes on every position. Playing for delay, playing for retake, you know, all of that works quite nicely in this scenario. And you can see that, in fact, Furia don't have time to even do anything here. They're going to save their weapons.
Yeah, they don't have time, or they don't have the right utility to even deal with this Viper's Pit, to be honest, right? If they had the drone still on NTR, if his recon recharged a little bit earlier than it just did, if Mazen didn't lurk through halls and had a Trailblazer still or Guiding Lights, it could have been done. But in a 5-on-3, like you mentioned, you know, you're probably better off taking those weapons in the next round. Smart choice there from Furia. They're looking at the long game here in this half. And I think, you know, based on what we saw on the first map, that could be very impactful if they have good buys late in the half.
Yeah, totally agree. And I think this was a great fight from Mazen. You're behind, you've got no map control. You have a 1v1, that's great. Yes. But as we said, it doesn't go his way, and here we are. 3 to 5, I should say, on the scoreboard. Sentinels on the comeback.
Dan, this is different. These players look like they're going to go fast to the A halls, and this, yeah, that's an early pick, though, from Sick onto QCK at the B window. They have a 0 control utility, Dan. This is about to get real scrappy at the A site.
Yeah, this is a problem. This is a really huge problem. They're looking for something to be given. Shazam doesn't have to do too much, edging his way forward, spots the Trailblazer, knows exactly where Sky has to be. There's that Trailblazer, where's that peek? It's delayed! And Xan actually takes down Shazam. The bait and switch pays off here, and they'll trigger the push into the A site. And it's just up to these gunfights now as we see Sentinels trying to hold on to the Pyramids. TenZ out there, large and in charge, but not for too much longer. Xan able to take him down. 2 versus 3 for Furia, though. Still a lot of work to do. And there's another frag as Dapper goes down.
Evening things up, Dan. We're now on a 2-on-2, but this flank from Sick is so timely. NCR's on the other side of Pyramids, though. I think they have a feeling that someone is on the flank. Look, they're pushing aggressively towards defender spawn here.
Enemy remaining.
That's a flick and a half from Zoms, leaving Xan 27 HP left. You're going to get hit by the Seeker. My God, there's nothing you can do from that spot. 4 to 5, and indeed, Sentinels making it a repeat of that first map so far, at least.
Yeah, the comeback is kind of starting to look nice here. If you're a Sentinels fan, you know, clawing back into the half. Still find themselves down 4 to 5, but you know, it looks like they've made that shift on their defensive half, the one that we saw on Ascent. The shift here, though, is quite different. It's a positional shift. They've moved Zoms over to this B site. I can see him right now on the minimap actually setting up his wall there. So the difference in looks has clearly affected Furia a little bit here. They're getting caught off by the timings of certain agents on different locations. So
yeah,
big adjustment coming out of Sentinels to get to this point.
Yeah, I really like that we see another timeout here coming through from Furia, because again, and speaking of adjustments, you know, in Valorant you don't get too much time to make those adjustments, and Sentinels adjustments, switching Viper defensively over to B, that has really put Sentinels in a great spot. Without the threat to B that was previously there, without those quick pushes, without that util to deal with, Furia have nothing right now. So what do? It feels like going into A is not what they want to do against the likes of TenZ and Dapper. So is it about mid control? You know, how do they try to find the pick by pressuring mid around that mid rounds? That's the question for me. Like, what is the adjustment? You can't just let Sentinels have this B control, because that's what's working for them.
Yeah, it really feels like Furia had a lot of focus early on mid control, and then they'd fall back into these B hits. The B hits have slowed down a lot. They're not working as well as they were earlier in this game, but we still see this same mid-control default. I see the Viper lining up a Poison Orb for those doors up in halls. I see Sky over here at elbow, the Jet and Sova are going for mid-control. You know, Furia's sticking to the tried and true. They're working the map. This is what has worked for them thus far, and they're going to continue doing it.
Yeah, we'll get that deep Poison Orb there on halls as well to deny vision. Shazam's normally been the player spotting from that position. Ends with that mid-aggression, and he's going to get caught this time by NCR, so that's some revenge. 5 versus 4, it's the IGL's dream shot on the attack. You've got the whole round left to play with 1.5 minutes.
And you've taken out the player that does all the prodding and all the annoying stuff you have to worry about if you're that attacker IGL. So you can see now, you know, now that Furia knows this, they're in this man-up scenario. They've pushed back A with the Killjoy utility. They know no one's pushed there. They push back A halls with the Poison Orb. They're quickly grouping for this B hit, and they need to do it fast, because if you look at Sick on the minimap right now, he's pushing through halls. He's getting all the info. Shaz is already here at the B site, and Zoms is here as well with his wall up, with the orb there as well. This has to be explosive.
It certainly does, and they've been able to do that previously, but the snake by stay lasts forever, or it feels like that. A couple of frags come through. There's the Hunter's Fury. He's going to get Zoms. Oh, you love to see that kill actually leading the fire. There's actually nowhere to stand. And they I don't know how Dapper does this, but gonna be fine. The double peek comes in, and it's a Prime Gaming flawless out of Furia at the moment when they needed it the most.
Yes, that's gorgeous. I love seeing the paired ultimates from the initiators. Right there we saw the Seekers. So the Seekers go out, there's 3 of them. They're gonna find, each of them find a separate player on the defender team. And this Sova pops the Hunter's Fury, and all you need to do is just follow the Seekers. You just aim where the Seekers are going. Yeah. That just seems like an OP combo of ults.
Well, like you say, ults were used there, but we do have Blade Storm, we've got Viper's Pit, we've got the lockdown still. I don't believe we've seen Khalil's lockdown this half yet.
No, we haven't.
Here.
Let's be on the lookout for that. You can see he's lurking in these halls right now. I've seen a lot of Killjoys use their ults up here. He's made his way to the door. Oh dear, does he put it down right here, Dan?
That's a good question. I mean, Sick has got a lot of control in mid at the moment, so...
Oh, this is very, very aggressive. The Killjoy with the lockdown in hand goes up to the trip, and there's the ult that I was referring to. So he puts the alarm bot by the trip just to secure his ult, and his teammates are going to go with this. And look, it connects perfectly to that Viper's toxin screen. Dan, this is so drilled.
Yeah, that's actually gorgeous to see.
Spike
Play out there
planted.
from Furia. Shazam will get delayed just a little bit more by the Nano Swarm there towards Heaven. Sentinels waiting, trying to coordinate themselves for the retake through door, through spawn. Exan finding some good damage with those daggers, and Khalil as well gets one. Shazam picks up a double, but there's a Viper's Pit still yet to contend with, and he does not have a drone. Tenz is just going to have to go straight into it, into the Viper's Pit. And it's just Tenz now. What can he find? 3 players. Gets himself around the back, but Marzin with a very fast headshot to respond. 7-4, and it looks like we're diverging from the script of map 1 finally for Furia.
I think so. Furia busted out all of those ults you were talking about, Dan, in back-to-back rounds. 2 on the B round, 3 on this A round, and dang, did they look clean in these rounds doing so. I mean, I just want to draw attention too to that really cool aspect. The Viper drops the ult right there for that last kill. They know Tenz is lurking in the ult, so she just drops the ult. Found ya. Real cool right there from Furia. But this is the round where they have no ults to work with, and we've seen Sentinels have a lot of success on these rounds, and we're back to it.
Well, oh, interesting. So we'll get the picks going both ways there, one in halls, and then one towards Dapper, who's actually pushing B. So what does that tell Furia about the A setup?
This is very aggressive from Shazam. He can hear a lot of footsteps from deep in attacker spawn, where attackers typically wouldn't believe they're being heard. So I think Shaz is going to get some early comms here to his teammates, and I would expect Furia to be going into a stacked site here.
I
He
feel like
definitely hears this.
it's so on the edge of the... Okay, now he's certainly, surely, he must have heard.
Yeah, and you can even see Zoms is kind of like leaning a little bit towards B right now. But Tenz has actually left the B site. He's dashed back towards it. He used his dash to get into B.
Maybe he didn't hear him mid after all, but with that said, they still have to breach that B choke point, and it's not looking great right now, because as you say, Tenz is now in position, and they're going to go back here. QCK, oh, he catches Shazam. What does that tell them? They've got 20 seconds to plant the spike. This is a huge map, and they have to run all the way around. We've got the catch here in spawn as well. What enough does this mean if you're Sentinels? They have to work this one out. In fact, Zoms will go forward. He'll find another one, but where is the spike? 10 seconds to plant the spike. Khalil's killing absolutely everybody, but the spike has to go down. There's just enough time here to get it planted, but there might be a player there. The wall's going to drop Zoms. Oh, just not going to be able to see anything in time. And there it goes. The spike is planting. Zoms can't quite find an angle on it, and there's the frag. QCK locks it in. What a crazy round. What a crazy finish to the first half. Furia, 8-4.
Whew, I can't believe it, Dan. They won one of the bleed out the clock type rounds. This is what Furia has been lacking all series long. They are massively in the driver's seat right now. 8-4 lead going into the defensive half.
Well, we want to take a quick breather. It's time to go back to the desk to talk about that half.
Thank you so much, DDK. Early on into that half, we all turned to each other and we said, what's it going to take for us to feel confident in Furia going into the back half of this map? And 8-4 was the answer, and they found it. They found it.
I mean, this was a really good half. A few key tactical mistakes in there, but otherwise, Dash, they were great.
It wasn't just the fact that they were great. You know who was very, very great? And I know that is not a phrase that I'm going to use as English pronunciation any way, shape, or form. Khalil. I think he ended that half 14-5 on the Killjoy. The man was unstoppable. And I know we usually look to the Jets here on Breeze, but the story's being told by the Killjoy here.
Yeah, top frag map 1, top fragging so far here on map number 2 for his team. It's the flanks. It's the way that they're utilizing him. And we even saw it there in the final round there as Shaz is rotating, getting caught off guard without his gun out because Khalil is positioned phenomenally.
Yeah, this is a really new kind of wrinkle to Khalil, really giving him a little bit more free reign. The coach putting a lot of trust in their key player here to give him the ability to go for the flanks, go for the wide angles, and find members of Sentinels not aware of his positioning.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a phenomenal player. I know you went absolutely nuclear on the pre-desk about him. You're like, you gotta watch this man. He just knows how to hit everything. He's awesome. And now he's playing a little bit of a different style to what you expected, and that's giving him even more free reign to do whatever he wants. This highlight reel should be enough to tell you that not only is he able to use his utility to peak success, it's not just that, he's also able to get the shots down on. And I know you and I were talking about before the fact that Furia, they like to force on their second round. We haven't seen it. Yeah, man. I mean, they did it, and that was successful.
Yeah, this was something that I had put down in my notes. It wasn't something we got to talk about much because they won both the pistol rounds on Ascent.
Right.
So there was no reason for them to force, but this is something they are very keen to do, and you can see why, especially on the attacker side. It makes a lot of sense. This is their side. This is where they have to get their, their work done. They have to come through big. And there's no better way to do that than to catch the other team off guard a little bit, grabbing some bigger guns off of the opponent's anti-eco.
Now, 8-4, that does give us some confidence, but as we know, you can never count Sentinels out. They're a team that usually ramps up as time goes on, as they figure you out, and now they move themselves onto the attacking half. We're going to head back over to our casters, DDK and Sean, for the call.
And we are back into the second half. Furia, they are threatening Sentinels very much right now, Sean. 8-4, it's a huge first half, but this map is very different on the defense.
Yeah, on Sentinel's map pick nonetheless, Dan. But Sentinels, we're gearing up for a fast round here. Zoms is going to throw his Poison Orb in Halls. He's going to go Halls with Dapper. This is going to be a fast A split. 2 people are going to go up Sands. 10's picking into the site right now, though. Look, if you look at Furia, they're going to fast retake. There's 5 people here, Dan.
Oh, they might actually catch him before they get to the cross angle, and actually that's really interesting. Maybe it benefits Tens. He's got that Sheriff in hand doing the damage, dashing back, but Furia trading quite nicely, 3 versus 3. And in fact, it's now Furia. There's one man to the good. And this is just deathmatch right now between these two teams. Oh, Tens edging forward, gets caught in the open, and Furia pick up another pistol round. Ooh, that's 3 of 4.
Furia 3 of 4, 9-4 right now in this map, Dan. Massive economic advantage on this round. Sometimes you see teams force buy on the second round if they get the spike down. Sentinels is in a scenario right now where they would have to make a really hobbled buy if they're going to buy here. Yeah. And they're not going to do that. Yeah. They're saving here, Dan. They have a Marshal on Sick, a Sheriff on Tens, a Sheriff on Dapper, so they're making light purchases here. But we could potentially be looking at a 10-4 scoreline here.
And we've got the Toxic screen set up on B for Furia to defend with. I really like that, actually.
They've shifted it over a little bit to the right so that way it fully blocks all the way into mid and leaves the gap along the back wall of B. That's very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great spot there. Someone's creeping forward. And Fury don't have to do anything fancy here.
Ooh, Dapper has a great timing right now at B elbow. Dan, he went right by the Trailblazer. Ooh, but he doesn't take it. He falls back. And meanwhile in Halls, big presence being made by Zombs. He gets taken out by the double damage shock dart. Brutal.
And there we go. Some of the numbers whittled away for Sentinels. So there is certainly strength in numbers when you're in a buy that is disadvantageous like this. But Sad has got a good timing. So good lick of damage there onto Sick as well. And has that forward position, just shutting down the choke point. Such a difficult player to deal with in a scenario like this. Oh my god, he's insane, but Sick is just as insane. What a shot. Okay, Sick, we'll try to reset. 20 seconds to go. They're in hot pursuit of Sick. They really want to take him down.
Oh, dear. Yeah, Sick needs to die. Yeah, they might purposely let him live. Left. You can see they're running away. They want him to save this Marshal. He can't make it to the site.
Oh dear.
Oh no, Dan. This is a disaster, and this is so well played by Furia to make him save this Marshal. He just wants someone to kill him.
And there he was all along the turret.
Oh, he doesn't get it, Dan! It's tragic.
It's so funny as well because the call definitely came. QCK looked hungry for that one. It was in hot pursuit, but yeah, great call there to force him to survive. The shame, the embarrassment, but more so the lack of money. I don't know how that works. I thought that had to be a no-scope.
Yeah.
But he somehow scoped in on that one.
Yeah.
I don't understand how that works.
That was crazy.
His reward is to keep the Marshal for another round, so...
Oh my god, another interesting, unique wall here at the B side, but this is an all-out mid-aggression on their bonus, Dan.
Yeah, there's a quick push there, and it makes a lot of sense. They're on these SMGs still, they have saved them from the previous round, so this fight in mid is certainly a good one to take for Furia. And it's a 3v3, and they're still on these Spectres, and now they're starting to find themselves in unfavorable fights, as we can see there in mid. So it gets the upgrade.
Yeah. This is where things get really tricky for Furia, because it's such a big map that once you spot one of these two players, you can probably just go to the other site blindly, or you could just go into that player knowing that the second isn't anywhere around him. So Sentinels has a massive advantage in this 3-on-2. It's even more of an advantage than some of the other maps in the pool.
Yeah, I completely agree. And with the Spectres still from the bonus,
Caution here.
it's going to be hard to find much. You don't have that one-shot potential of a Vandal, a Sheriff.
Very good timing here from NZR, though. You can see Sentinels is pushed up aggressively. They have no one holding the flank, which is actually where both of these Furia players are coming from.
There's a recon available and two
Caution
shock darts for NZR.
I think they might be just trying to... I think they're trying to just box them in, Dan. Trying to take these guns out of the Sentinels' hands. They know this is a long game remaining, Dan, and Furia only need 3 more rounds. So doing economic damage is massive, but...
Yeah.
Khalil will fall there. One more Spectre remains on NZR, and he's not getting lucky either. These players are all exiting defender spawn.
Yeah, you know, the classic move, okay, we found a safe exit. I believe it was Sick that cleared spawn. It's like, all right, guys, this is absolutely safe. Don't know about anything else, but let's just go to safe territory. And that's 5 to 10. Sentinels pick 1 up. But of course, that was the bonus for Furia. So that was sort of by design.
Yes, and I mean, Furia tried to make that as messy as possible with that mid push. And I think they're going for more of the same. They've done this every big round so far. Pistol, the bonus, and now again on their first gun round with the double elbow at the start of the round. They push aggressively into mid and have very fast retakes because of this.
Oh, some information there for both teams. Sentinels will realize there's likely something going on in mid.
Dapper and Sick lurking their way up A-halls right now, Dan. They're going up to the door. There's no trip, no alarm bot, nothing stopping them.
There's a recon, and that's going to get a tag. Beautiful, QCK picks up 1, and they've got that mid control, so he doesn't have to worry about that. Xan is in the door, or around the door position, keeping it safe. So right now, Furia in a great position. Dapper trying to find something. You know exactly where he is, surely. QCK, though, can't take him down. He's spraying forward, NZR with the trade. 4 versus 3 in favor still Shazam. He's picked up a Hunter's Fury now.
He has that Hunter's Fury. The Viper Wall still online for Zombs. A very, very aggressive Viper Wall too. And Sentinels has all the control behind it. That's a lot of positions they can be in because of how pushed up this Viper Wall is. Hunter's Fury back in that stance position. He can ult the plant. He can ult the run-in. Many options right now for the Indian leader. And there it is.
Oh, now they're actually going to be able to dodge this one. Perhaps another up jump comes through to do that. And TenZ is just making quick work of these players. A 3K comes through from TenZ in all of the madness around the Hunter's Fury. TenZ will strike. And that's another round for Sentinels. It was close, but it's a great recovery.
Jeez, yeah. Dodging the Hunter's Fury when TenZ is hunting you down. Imagine that. Imagine. Doesn't sound very fun.
That's hardly fair.
No, it's not very fair at all. Those look like free kills for TenZ, thanks to Shazam, you know, making them jump all over the place. Whew. Much needed first gun round there for Sentinels. And you can feel the momentum starting to build now for Sentinels, right? They're still very far behind in this game, 10-6, but they forced Furia onto an eco. So you can see the distance starting to close.
Oh, Paz. Thinking, yeah, going for the push here. Ruby main. Oh, he's found one.
Spike
That
down
Marshal
mid.
Sick has picked it up, and Xan in a deep position. Oh, the drone's going to tag QCK, and it might not spot Xan. Indeed, it did not, but oh, they might go into Xan now.
They might, Dan.
Oh, the timing there, and he's going to be able to pick it up. That's a spike down as well. Chances now here for Furia to strike right back after losing a round. Spike's recovered. There's a lot of time, and they know that Xand is around the B site. Do they challenge it?
Dan, look at this. They are guessing absolutely wrong. The confidence on Sentinels to keep heading into this same site where the Neural Theft spotted everyone. It is a mind game being played right now for the in-game leader on the Sentinels team.
left.
And Zom's going to get that free plant 3-on-3. Bladestorm's still in play, though. And they're not messing around. The Viper's Pit immediately cast down. Ten's aggressively peeking into spawn. That's going to give all the information to Shazam, who hears this. Thunderfooting in mid.
Oh, but if he dies, he will give away a gun. 7 HP, so he's going to find the timing. Takes out one, they know that he's there on the back there. The recon comes out, can he survive here? Again, oh, he's already understanding precisely where Jet is! Shazam doesn't even see you to kill you, as he will eventually get taken out, but he's basically won the round for his team. 1 HP on NZR. Not a good look. Coming out of the Viper's Pit, Zones will meet NZR. And Sentinels, once again, they are trailing, but it just seems like they're so hard to kill.
Yes, yeah, it seems like, you know, these guys aren't Cloud9. We saw them yesterday, but I swear, Sentinels has 9 lives. Like, these guys are insane. Every time they're down in a map, it seems like you have to have some incredible plays to shut them out, right? You have to come up big on an individual and tactical level if you want to defeat Sentinels. I've seen a lot of teams have leads on them. Not many close them out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Xand looking to go deep here with A-main behind the Sky Flash.
He's through, Dan.
He is through, and there's Hunter's Fury, and oh, it's a freebie. Xand is going to be able to take him down. That's beautiful work. And Tens is trying to find
pinned.
Oh
he has him
God.
pinned, Dan.
Yeah, Marsden was trying to support Xand, but he gets nailed by Tens. So Xand is back out there alone. And here comes Zoms looking for the angle. The pre-peek from Xand. He's anticipating it. And that's a 3v2. And Dapper takes that QCK, that lurk.
The B site's open, but Dapper could get caught in this mid nest, Dan.
There's a drop. Oh, the timing is terrible for Dapper. Furia quickly rotating towards the site. Sick, alone in the 1v2.
Guiding light on deck, Dan. These two people are stuck so close together.
The reset coming through for Sick as he walks towards spawn. Wants to eliminate these positions. It's a great position. He does dodge the drone. They have no idea where Sick is. The element of surprise there's the sound cue, takes down one. There's almost to go. There's that quick pop flash. That gets him out of position. Oh, but he's spotted on the reposition. There's the engagement, and it's good for NZR. Oh, what a finish.
Wow, what a clutch from NZR. He just lobs out a recon. We've seen him do that a lot, actually, on these retakes throughout this series, Dan. Very just on-the-fly recon darts, right? Not these lineups that you're seeing around the scene right now. Just quick on-the-fly ones that can't be broken. Completely flusters Sick in that one-on-one. Massive round from the boys from Brazil.
That's amazing. And it's so cool to see in that 1v1. You can see that Sick is trying to reposition when his opponent cannot see him. But those small details kept the vision, and then Sick got stuck in the open in a position that was known. And that's the difference. If he's in the open, but he's on an off angle that's unknown, he wins that fight.
Yeah.
Huge, huge play.
That single recon won that round. That's
crazy.
Such a heads-up play to quickly toss that after getting blind.
And that's one of those rounds, we get the Sentinels timeout. That's one of those rounds that could break their back. Right now, Sentinels have no money after this buy.
Yeah.
If they lose this buy, I think we're going to 3 maps.
I think so too, Dan. I think, you know, they're on the back foot right now. They are definitely not in the driver's seat of this map right now. I would favor Furia. But I said that also on Ascent, right? This is a different team, and you can see Raucus, the new coach right there on Sentinels, has a lot to say. I really like seeing that, right? We haven't really seen a match with him on the team, and you can see he's having impact in the team. He's very vocal right now in this TAC timeout for Sentinels.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you say, yeah, that is a completely new site for Sentinels. Usually it's just all on the back of the 5 players that you see sat at their computers on stage.
Yeah, perhaps one of the craziest things in the scene is our best team was a team without a coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, all done with Shazam as in this in-game leader role. You know, they finally have gotten their coach coming into this tournament. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not impressed so far by the new look of Sentinels. They've given a couple new looks.
Yep.
But this stack timeout, this is a good test right now for Raucus.
Yeah, the whole thing is all about the coach is that you have a perspective that's not in the game. Yes. You know, every single player, okay, I got to explain that. Every single player has their own point of view, but he can see everything.
Oh, damn, we're live right here.
Oh, wait,
the Seekers are going into the connector right now. This is a super fast A-split.
Straight in. The defense is still in place, though. We've got players backside. Great shot shooting from Maz at a distance, but TenZ is even better. They're taking down Khalil. And they are just trading kills like crazy right now. TenZ is doing so much damage, but oh my god, it's hard to actually follow, but we get the 2v2 at the end, and the spike goes down. Drone looking for some information there as TenZ resets onto the flank. Around cave.
QCK will flank here. It's going to be a very long flank, and TenZ could get timed on this flank. The 1v1 between the Sova is huge as well. But TenZ is distracted, and the flank is getting closer, Dan.
Oh, the distraction. It's still there. It's still there. And in fact, he wins the battle. Oh, no! QCK is going to make that flank look fantastic. I don't even know how TenZ loses that fight. What a beautiful play from the remainder of Furia in that 2v2. That's I can't believe it.
Yeah, he did everything he could. He did everything that Sentinels would ask of him. He found 3 on the round to open things up. They get in a clean 2v2. The Sova's in the site. But the 2v2s are finally going Furia's way. The mid-round, the late rounds, everything is falling in the Brazilian team's favor now. Where in the past, we saw that veteran experience come up big for Sentinels, it's missing here.
Oh my god, TenZ is a machine. NZR winning the heads-up 1v1 there against TenZ is honestly outrageous.
Yes.
That he wins that. And that's just, we talked about that being the round that could break the back and win the map. There is still fight left in Sentinels yet, but it's going to be tough. TenZ already up-dropped off the back of the Bladestorm, drone through to the B site.
Spotted no one was Nest, so you can see he's playing really, really aggressive right now. He's taking these angles without any utility help from his teammates. He's going back into B, though. This is an all-out B hit, Dan. It's do or die right now for Sentinels. Dapper lurking in mid all by himself. 4 players over here at B. The wall's already up. They have nothing to fall back to A with.
Nowhere to run!
Oh, the Hunter's Fury comes in as well. Is he going to be able to find any damage? Oh, does actually tag some players, but oh, it's actually not too much of a tag.
Spike planted.
I think actually TenZ got hit by something else at the same time.
Yeah, TenZ actually got hit by the Hunter's Fury. That makes him a one-shot to a Phantom. Keep that in mind, Dan.
QCK will take down Shazam there as well, so threatening everything at the moment. That mid position from Dapper, not expected. Little hops here from TenZ. Hot shots to hit, but of course he finds it! And with that, 3 left here on the retake attempt. There is time still for Furia, but they have to force the issue. And they don't know what Dapper's doing. You can see that presence in mid is just so painful to have to constantly worry about. And Dapper, knowing they're not going for it, trying to get into a position to cut them off, but he will get taken down finally. What a round here from TenZ. He's just trying to eliminate everybody, but there we go. Sentinels stay in it. 1 more round. Can they do it? 4 more times.
Yeah, 4 more times, Dan. Jeez, look at that scoreboard. TenZ, 19 and 16. But again, like the first map, he's putting up these numbers, but it doesn't feel like a TenZ performance, right? I don't feel the early round domination. I'm getting the highlights. I'm like these rounds right here, he'll bust out and he'll win Sentinels those rounds. But something's missing from Sentinels in this game so far. I'm not really sure what it is right now watching, but this is another one of those really fast A pulse controls rounds that Sentinels keeps on running.
And this time we've got Exan on the Bladestorm, going deep in middle, looking to see what he can find. Not too much there in mid for him just yet. You can see Sentinels have slowed the pace. Got that deep poison orb in holes. Dapper lurking up against it. The coactive Fury out there making so much noise. Dapper hears everything, of course, as will TenZ.
Yeah, this playstyle from Furia has caught Sentinels off a lot, but this round not on 6 watch. Gets the first frag, falls back. Sentinels still in that base passive setup, and Dapper has lurked through halls, Dan. He's through.
Oh no. Will they understand? Okay, well the turret's there, that's good. That's going to cover that eventuality for Khalil. Reposition for Khalil will keep him safe for now. Exan's still in the picture. 4 versus 5 though for Furia. They need something special. What a shot from TenZ. Takes down Exan. That's the Bladestorm out of the round for Furia. And they are getting whittled away. Pulled apart one
Spike
by
planted.
one. Nice little shot from QCK, but there's more to find, of course. And Sentinels have a fully stacked site.
Indeed, and this is getting to the point, right? We're deep in this match, and every gun matters. Furia has to be looking at this 2-on-4 now as, you know, an economic decision. It's not just whether we can win the round or lose the round. Can we take these weapons into the next round? What's the optimal way to get as many buys as possible in these last 3 rounds? So they're going to opt to save these guns. They still have the lockdown on Khalil. They have the Hunter's Fury on NZR, the Bladestorm on Xand. We're going to get another buy in the next round. And Sentinels is definitely not out of in the clear yet.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, the ultimates that are in play for Furia, they will have nearly everything. And so that advantage suddenly exists because Sentinels are very far away from a sort of meaningful ult in terms of, you know, actually execing a site or anything like that. All they have right now is a neural theft. So Furia, you know, if they have good retake setups, if they've, you know, if they've got openings with these.
I'm going to cut you off, Dan. This is a massive change of pace around that I'm seeing right now at Sentinels. I'm seeing Zoms over at this A site, and I'm seeing 4 people right now grouped up to the B barrier. I really think we're going to get the first misdirection type of round from Sentinels, where Zoms is going to try to fake this A site. He's running away already. He just poison orbed the halls just to try to initiate that same default pressure on the halls player. But if you look, this is 100% going to B site, and it is open. Furia has fallen for this completely.
They've got the backside wall for the retake, and let's not forget they have, if they want it, that lockdown as well. And the Hunter's Fury. They can trap Sentinels into very few positions.
I really don't know where you would use the lockdown from, though. Where could you possibly use that from to retake this massive site?
Maybe the elbow position. Looks like they're going for it. There it goes.
Wow,
and it's going to cover most of the site. Oh, they're going to try to defend this one. Can they do it? Zom's tapping away, and he's taken down absolutely everybody. And the lockdown's been destroyed as well. And that's going to keep players alive on the site. Updraft into an elevated position for TenZ. Leaves very little to work with. Sentinels staying alive another round. And now they have the ult advantage because they just forced Furia to burn all of theirs.
Yes. That's a little scary now if you're Furia. You're playing with fire. You're getting close into the edge of this game using the ults right there in your eco round. And Zoms, boy oh boy did he need to come up big here. This would have been heartbreaking to lose to a buy like this with a lockdown to retake the B site. Massive 3K by him, breaking the lockdown.
Another timeout.
This is awesome. I mean, this is one of the first games I've seen both teams actively use their timeouts.
Yeah.
You know, come in with refreshed looks after each one. There's been so many ways both of these teams have adapted throughout this series. It's so fun to watch.
Yeah, I totally agree, and it's going right to the last here. Can Sentinels complete the comeback? And I mean, there's a huge test here of resiliency for Furia to not be too hasty, to hold their nerve, to be calm under the pressure that right now, even though Sentinels are down 2 rounds and they have to force overtime, absolutely Sentinels feel more confident.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. They definitely feel more confident right now. And it's weird, they've always have this swagger to them. Even when they're down in matches, they're always confident in taking their aim duels in the server, right? I see a lot of teams shell up, not this one. But I will say this, they have yet to realize that Furia is leaving the B sites actively almost every round by playing this aggressive mid setup, and they're going to do it again to Sentinels. I can see the setup now. The Sky and Jet are going to take control of this mid pillar yet again. They're going to be in the mid doors for an A split, which looks like it's going to happen. Zom's smoking the A hall's door right now for Dapper's lurk. Now Sick going to use the Trailblazer up over here at A. Chaz actually might drone with it.
There's that Trailblazer looking for the early info. Gets taken down by QCK on A. The aggressive, or rather the Viper wall coming in from both sides on the A site. And there's so much mid-control indeed. Furia likely have a good read of Sentinel's position. Deep flash comes through. There goes TenZ straight through it. He's looking for that opening now. Where is QCK? Trying to find him. The Seeker's trying to give that information to him. QCK stays alive.
dear.
There's the tag though. Oh, QCK under so much pressure. Trying to stay alive, trying to find the right way to engage this one and get his teammates into position. Tens actually burns the dash, and this is a slow assault from Sentinels. That's buying time for Furia to get in position. Dapper there by the door, tries to drop it, but he's denied by NCR. This is so scary.
God, this is terrifying.
Oh,
and Tens
my
comes
God.
up big, the spiping headshot.
But there it comes straight back his way from NCR from that position once more. And Sentinels again, 20 seconds left to try to plant this spike. Marsden's still in position to try to deny that. Smoke or no. And again, just playing with that door. And they're just going down on the cross. And it's Furia with all the kills, leaving just Dapper. 1 versus 3, and Furia have done it. They have taken down Sentinels. 1 map in this best of 3. We're going to a 3rd.
Let's go down. I never thought it would happen today, but here we have, the inexperienced Brazilian squad coming in from the LCQ nonetheless to take out the potential #1 team in the world on their own map pick.
Yeah,
Wow.
Such a great performance. We talked about how the team that's in their position, the inexperienced teams,
Yes.
holding your nerve can be very difficult. Being composed can be very difficult. And we just saw in that last round that they showed that they can do that. They've got Tens trying to get these picks coming in with the operator. They've got these intense battles, but they're still connecting their shots.
Yes.
That bodes very well going into another map here. I'm worried for Sentinels right now.
I'm terrified. Tens was looking for those fights. He was mega confident. All the utility was there. Perfect lurk in the halls by Dapper. But if you look at the positioning, the jiggle peaks from Furia, they never committed to fights. They never overcommitted. They knew they had 5 players there the whole time. They made Sentinels come into the site, and they just couldn't get there.
They could not get there. And in my brain, I had to kind of rack my brains here to understand what even is the 3rd map, because I
don't even remember.
I'm pretty sure it's Haven.
Yeah, I
I'm pretty sure it's
think
Haven,
you're right,
Sean.
yeah.
But that's the thing, because this was not a series that I think anyone had pegged to go 3.
No. I think you made the joke with me before the series started, and I even kind of smirked like there's just no shot. We would not be blessed with that, Dan. Not today, not here. But here we are, and this was a second map where Tens led the server in first blood. I'm sorry, he did not lead the server. That was actually QCK. He had 5, though, leading his team. He's on top of the scoreboard for the entire server. 40 ACS, 33 ACS. He's way ahead of everyone else. This is a game where their star player performed, and they still lost.
I am so impressed. I'm really impressed right now, and I'm extremely excited as well, because we have a 3rd map in this series, so please don't go anywhere. This
break sites open, at least try to get that plant down, or force your opponent into quick rotations where you turn it into a gunfight, which is what Furia kind of wants.
Well, if we're not calling it a ball of death, we'll call it a murder ball. How about that?
You know what? You created a phrase I never thought I would hear, so go ahead.
There you have it. That's it. That's my contribution to the world of Valorant right there. Let's think a little bit about what might be brought to the table by both of the teams, because so far we have seen a difference in that Sentinel slot. Again, it's Khalil who's been on the KJ. It's been Dapper who's been kind of leaning towards the Cypher more recently. Do we expect them to mirror up in this situation or still remain a difference? Both of you shaking your heads
Yeah,
at me.
we were
Okay.
instant on that. I mean, look, I just want to see Sick on Phoenix. I know everyone's so sick of me turning around, pun not intended, but obviously slipped in there, of the fact that I love Phoenix, and I think that when used appropriately on this map, it can work really, really well. I know he's map dependent here, I get that, but with the right player behind that agent, I really think they're going to do well, and it's such a niche kind of pick too.
And I like it. I totally agree with you, because Phoenix has a lot of ability to control some of the tight spaces on this map, the garage and the B site in particular. So it does, if you really got some good coordination with your team, it gives you a lot more ability to put pressure on that B site than normal.
I mean, a sick Phoenix is a sight to behold, and
yeah.
I would love to see it. It also brings to mind the idea of the way we've seen picks like Breach used on this map. Again, I'm not certain that either of these teams are going to reach for that. If you've got the Phoenix in your back pocket, let's say on the side of Sentinels, did receive word that there was a bit of a fat finger in Agent Select, and that can be verified, and so they're remaking the lobby real quick, and we'll dive into Prime Gaming Agent Select in just a moment. But is that some nerves there?
I mean,
who's
who
feeling them?
fingers an
Who picked
agent?
Yoru,
Like,
right? Who picked Yoru?
That's what it was. Yeah, you know that's what it was too. Like, oops.
And
My
like,
bad.
it's not even that. Like, you have to lock in an agent. So someone went agent and then lock it. Oh, what?
Well,
I didn't mean that.
Yeah, maybe
Which
they're
map are we on, boys?
going for a fist bump or something and somehow hit the
yeah.
mouse. You know, I don't know what it was, but we'll be in there soon enough, friends. So we'll have our answers. Should be up on our screens any moment now.
I feel like I'm waiting in too much anticipation.
Well, no,
because
I know
I'm
it
calling
is.
the Phoenix, and I'm
All
like,
right.
you know, are we going to get that? Are we not? I really don't know.
Show it to us.
Okay.
Sick goes
No.
for the Sky.
Yep.
Okay.
Swapping off to the Sage that he has
Standard.
been seen on recently, but still standard compositions here. And again, we will retain that difference in the Sentinels, the Cypher versus the KJ.
I mean, do your thing, my man. I will say that we have seen some good utility usage from the Skies throughout all of the series today. I think the flashes have been strong. The amount of Seekers that we've seen that have led to kills through screens, through smokes, because you're like, oh, that's where the Seeker's going. I guess I'll just, you know, screen bang there and hope that someone's there, collect a kill. So I don't think necessarily, whilst the Skies haven't been the main agent for us to focus on today, it's been leading to kills.
Well, the teams have traded maps to get us to this point. It all comes down to this. Haven, Sentinels versus Furia. Who's going to take it? DDK and John, one more time. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Dash. Oh my God, we actually made it to 3 maps. Sure, I don't have any data for this. I didn't do any research for this.
Well,
I mean, what do we even do?
well, all you need to know, Dan, is that Sentinels are insane on Haven. They win this map a lot. Phoenix is picked by Sick. Oh, wait, that didn't happen, actually. So, and then also, oh, wait, on the other team, they have a Sky, whereas typically they only have one initiator. So both of these teams have unique comps that they're busting out for the 3rd map in an insane series. I am so excited.
Yeah, I don't even know what to expect from Furia. I mean, Sentinels, of course, somewhat of a known quantity historically when it comes to Haven. We've seen so many epic matches from them. There is some magic when it comes to Sentinels on Haven historically. So, I mean, I just love that we get to finish here with them because they do have to go pedal to the metal as we get into this, the 3rd and final map here between Sentinels and Furia here. You couldn't ask for any more up until this point. Here we go.
Here we go indeed. And if you look at Furia on the attack side now, they're spread out in this base setup. They're across the map. They're just trying to feel out any aggressions from Sentinels. And Sentinels will aggress towards A main right now with these 3 players. We have the gravity well right in the center. We have the smoke to block out the attackers. They will get control of this A lobby at the start of the round. But that's where the double initiator comes into play. Every time you watch a Haven game, Dan, the Trailblazer or the drone will inevitably be used to clear out that angle if the other team wants to take back A.
Yeah, we actually had Furia sending the guiding light down short to a lobby. And then Sentinels paused, sent their guiding light to see if Furia would actually push behind that, and both teams kind of just edging each other out here. But it's going to be a C split coming in from Sentinels, rather from Furia. Dapper's going to spot that one. Zoms has that backside control still. In fact, good access here to the site still from Sentinels. And this is not a strong situation for Furia, to say the least. They're going to back out of Garage. They're going to try to find another way to a different site.
Yeah, they're going to go into this B side, it looks like, but the Spike is having second thoughts. The Spike is moving towards A. A little bit of miscommunication there maybe on Furia's side. They are now stuck outside of the B site. The spacing is off.
Still time, actually, 40 seconds. However, there is a push on A long at the same time, so right now, a lot of information here for Furia. Oh, there goes the plant attempt. Oh my god! Headshots coming through very quickly for Furia. Good response though, very quickly from Amazon, just holding that position down. And there's access now to A if Furia wants it.
But they think Tens is over there, Dan. They don't know where Tens is. He's unknown right now to Furia, and here he is.
He's got to win every fight. NZR 1 versus 3 with the frenzy. He finds the 1v1, but he needs more bullets. Surely 7 left right now on this one. It doesn't get a chance to reload, and Sick will take him down. However, they planted the spike, so that is money. And if I know anything about Furia, Sean, I feel like I'm feeling the force buy.
Or do you think the force buy is in the cards? The spike is down. We're on Haven. This is a map where the force buys fly. I would not be surprised at all to see a rebuy come out of Furia right now. But I just want to point out, I'm hearing some chirps over there on the Sentinel side. They're waking up, and they're fiery. I think they've been a little bit quiet all series long. They've woken up.
Absolutely. And it is the force buy.
There it is.
And you'd be hard-pressed to understand at a quick glance who actually won that first round.
Yes, they're sending it A too, Dan. And they're going right into the same setup from pistol round.
There's that guiding light once again, as you mentioned. And we've got a fantastic counterplay early on with the Astra. And that slowed everything down. Sentinels with good position here, but Sick. Is he going to find anything? Yeah, there it is. Able to just capitalize off of the distraction, but Furia still get through. Tens is there with the Sheriff. I don't know that he was spotted.
Bucky. Oh, no, Dan. He's got the Bucky in the corner. The Trailblazer was used early. Yeah, NZR doesn't even have a drone. How are they going to get him out of this corner?
But right now, we actually have Furia holding position. They've cut pace. They've cut noise. Eventually, Sentinels will have to ask questions. Sentinels, as far as they're concerned, Furia could have rotated to the C side of the map.
But I want to draw attention. Look at Dapper's cam and trip all the way at the bottom of C. It's allowing him to cheat a little bit more towards this A side. Sentinels are going to have 3 players on A in a 4-on-4.
And Tens might be able to get a 1v1. Pulls out the Sheriff, still hits the shot. Khalil can't get it done. 20 HP right there, but still, Furia cannot be denied this A site. Tens is trying to stay alive and do what he can. And there goes Sand up high off of the updraft. And now Zoms in the 1v3 with that Spectre. They don't know precisely where he is, but they do have information on the flank. Only 2 on the site. Zoms, one of these players is very low. Zoms can definitely find 3 1v1s. Playing off of contact here. Can Zoms get it? He's just 180 straight away, but it's NZR to take him down, and Furia off the force buy pick up the round. They played it so damn well.
Ooh, sucked the life right out of the NA squad. 1-1, but getting reset early in this game is so brutal to your economy. I don't imagine Sentinels rebuys here. It would be an incredibly risky play for Sentinels to rebuy here, have a low buy with a bunch of Spectres, and try to hang. Because then you'd quickly find yourself, if you lose that round, potentially down 4-1 after the ecos. So yeah, they're going to take one on the chin, take the L there. And you can see Dapper, they're on a C stack right now, and it looks like, you know, a little C pressure is coming their way. The spike is over by A, though. So I think this is just a little bit of smoke and mirrors coming from Furia.
Yeah, and it's great to do this because there's very little utility on the saving team. So if you can find a way to just get rid of some of it in the early round, you just expand your advantages. And they're going to walk into a site which has more or less nobody on it. Shazam's on the Heaven position. He has no vision and a classic. Lovely.
Yeah, not much Shazam can do here. I believe, yeah, he actually already used his Recon 2 early round, so he has that on deck now, just loaded. He's going to wait for his teammates to regroup, and I think they're just going to go with one full push into this site. Just a bunch of classics, probably running through that gravity well. Unfortunately, that just hit the ground.
Well, there's a Nebula on the short position, but yeah, Sentinels can quite happily, or rather, sorry, Furia can quite happily play in front of that one. Sound really just happy as well to, okay, a little bit scary there with that spray. Oh no! 6-2 out of nowhere, and NCR has nothing left to work with. That's a switch to the pistol.
Dan.
And I think they got overconfident, Sean, because they should not be giving that one away. Sentinels steal it.
Oh no, they played with fire, Dan, and boy did they get burnt. Oh my, a full classic eco coming in from Sentinels.
Oh, when you say it like that, it's even worse.
Oh dear, and an empty site. They picked the right site, they played the round perfectly. But I mentioned it, Shazam hung on to that recon dart.
Oh.
He waited for this retake. Sick comes in with the guiding light, gets the 3K with a frenzy. Oh my.
There we go.
We didn't say it. We didn't say it. We're safe.
He said it, so we didn't have to. Sean.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we were all thinking it. My God, that's insane. I mean, I feel less bad for Furia after seeing how Sick did that. That was, that's like a 1 in 100 moment from him, but
Wow.
with
I
that
can't believe that just happened.
Oof.
Tens adding fuel to the fire. It's responded by QCK. Oh no, Dan.
Okay, well, Sick's on the
Scary
side.
round.
They're looking for revenge, and Sick, he's not going to give it.
Oh, stabilizes. Sick with 2 big frags. Tens responds with his second of the round. Mason now lurking through this garage position. Zoms is very aware, holding the off angle.
Very aware. Oh, but might actually check it. Slight chance there from Marzen, but there we go. Zoms with the frag. 3-1 up. Sentinels, pretty crazy first few rounds, I have to say. And
yes,
this is great, though, for Sentinels because they're in a solid spot to stabilize. And for Furia, they haven't been able to establish in the back and forth what their default even looks like, which that might be problematic.
Yes, and this is certainly different from the script we've been dealt on the prior maps, Dan.
Yes.
I mean, this is the first lead Sentinels has actually had, you know, a quarter of the way into the match. Every time we would get a quarter way into the match, it seemed like Furia was by far the better team. It was very deceiving.
We have 3 players here on the C side for Sentinels. Hunter's Fury and Seeker's available for Furia.
Ooh, yeah, look at this. Shazam and Dapper start on this A site, Dan. They don't get any pressure. They fall off. Shaz drones through short A. I think this might just be, you know, a full retake A setup. Sentinel's reading this well. The garage take is coming in from Furia, and I would imagine, like you said earlier, we're going to go into a C split.
We can see almost the challenge from Sick there towards Garage. Yeah, they're threatening C so heavily right now. But with that said, Sentinels don't have vision towards the A side of the map right now. They're going to hear, I think, that guiding light that just got sent towards A. So if we have a cut of noise right now, Sentinels might second guess this, but well, I mean, they don't have to now. The Seekers come through. That's going to give them all the information. Sick wants to follow it, but he's going to get trapped in the corner, looking to get a lot, but only gets 1. And now comes the push, and Tens is going to get traded. It's absolute madness here towards this C site. It's just the long players left, and Shazam knows it. Sentinels have such good positions to handle this one. Zoms up on the logs, waiting for the moment, and there it is with the Spectre. Comes through, delivers 2, and that's a 4-1 lead now for Sentinels.
Gorgeous round there from Sentinels. Not in the fact that they did anything crazy as far as their shots, but their positioning across the map. They're faking A lobby control, leaving that position, stacking the C site, reading things so well. Mid-round Seekers from Sick. The counter Seekers, though, coming in from QCK. That was so big. The trades in Garage. But unfortunately, I mean, you just can't deal with all the randomness if you run into a stack like that. There's people jumping through smokes that you can't expect, and it's just too much to handle. So here we have an eco coming in from Furia Dan, and Sentinels aren't stopping.
It's Dapper. He's just run through the garage doors like an absolute maniac, Sean. And, well, he'll get taken down, but Sick with that mid-control will be able to take 1 more. So, pretty good spot here for Sentinels now. And the other thing, too, is that they are well and truly in the ultimate lead. They've got 4 to work with right now, going into that next spy round.
Yeah, and I'm kind of wondering Sentinel's approach to this next gun round. So this is an eco, and it looks like we're playing an A retake. Shaz is deep outside the A site, so the spike will likely go down here. But I want to draw attention to the fact that Khalil has this lockdown, and let's look at how Sentinels approaches a round where the enemy team has a lockdown next round. Because I think they are going to defend A short heavily. Either that or Shazam is going to be ready to counter Hunter's Fury it, and we're going to really get to see the layers. Oh, I'm actually kind of surprised. We're seeing the Cosmic Divide come out in this eco round, and the Hunter's Fury come out of Shazam too. This is a lot coming in.
Yeah, it really is. I didn't even think that they would use one, actually, but here we go. Furia doing the damage even still. 1 versus 1 for NCR. Can he reset? Can he pick something up here? Here goes Shazam with the classic bouncing around the shock dart. Deals him down to 60 and just teasing, poking, prodding, jumping away, buying time. NCR. Oh my god, the knives come out. It's actually a knife fight. There is the frag from Shazam, but I cannot believe it. I think NCR did enough.
Wow.
Did he do enough?
He did.
Oh, it's so close, and he did. My god, it's the thrifty there from Furia.
I can't believe it. I cannot believe Sentinels has lost this round to Furia. The 3v4 eco round in the A site.
They used so many ult shots.
They used so many ult shots. The Cosmic Divide and a Hunter's Fury, and still all these opening frags go in Furia's way. An impossible scenario Shazam finds himself in. A player just jumping around the site and he has to chase him. This is so ridiculous.
What's really crazy, Sean, is that this is kind of similar how this looked to when we also saw that clutch from Sick dropping out of the window.
Yes.
With a Frenzy taking 3 down.
Yes.
NCR doing a repeat there, but oh wow.
Wow, that ult advantage is gone. But Tens is still opening up these rounds time and time again, taking out this single controller, Dan, on Furia's side.
That's such a problem. That is such a huge problem.
Massive problem. Especially when they're heading towards the A site, Dan, where there's a heaven and spawn position. One of the hardest sites to hit without smokes.
I don't know if they can try to punish that. They're going to try. They flash through from the long position. Shazam is there on the side, though, to help out. The up drop goes through, and Xan's found a good position. Shazam, though, there is a possibility for him, but not enough time to reset there, and that's the lockdown coming through. 53 retake here for Sentinels.
Things have changed so quickly in this round. Like you mentioned, 3-on-3. The lockdown gives Furia some space, and Sand updrafted into heaven just now, Dan.
Did they hear it? Well, it doesn't matter. There's a neural theft coming on through. It's going to give some very key information around the site there. The default boxes, we'll see what they can do with this. There's the Blaze-Storm pulled out. It's going to be down to just 1 kill, but there he goes. Zom's shutting it down with the Spectre again. And another round for Sentinels. And as you said, like, Ten's getting these early picks. That has to stop for Furia.
Yeah, he is having way more success in the opening rounds of the 3rd map in the series than we've seen all series long. He's come alive here at the start of the rounds, which is what Sentinels needs out of him on this jet roll. He is being very aggressive on this operator.
So consistent is Tense.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, I'm not convinced that Dapper knew that there was a player up there, actually, Xand. So
Here.
Very important 1v1. I think if that 1v1 is lost by Dapper, that's unlikely a Sentinels round. We get a timeout here from Furia again. I do enjoy the fact that they are using their timeouts.
Yes.
It is important, and hey, I mean, there's an argument to be made that it did help them win that last map.
Oh, it's massively helped them out throughout this entire series. I am so impressed. An inexperienced team like Furia coming into a series like this against a team like Sentinels, and they're the ones actively using the timeouts really well, and they're coming out of them with new, fresh ideas. It almost feels like they're on Sentinel's level as far as experience goes. They're doing all of the right things in these rounds. In the rounds they lose, like these weird botched mid-round plays where the shots don't go their way. I am thoroughly impressed by them.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how this goes, because it did feel like a complete lockout from Sentinels to start with, but we had a lot of crazy rounds. And so if they can solve that issue, and surely they were just talking about it, giving up that early pick, we might be well on our way to some more Furia rounds, but first, it is a save.
Dan, I'm going to draw attention right now to this jet fight that'll likely go down here. You see Tens just jumping around right now in Garage, doing some bunny hops. He has an up. If he peeks out of that door, he's going to go right into the Blade Storm on Xand. He is definitely going to peek.
Get out of my way.
He's not going out, but the Blade Storm's coming his way right now.
There goes Tens holding.
Blocking sight.
He's going to have to fall back there. They're going to spot him. They know that it's... Well, of course, the Cloud Burst will give it away.
You want
Jet
to fight?
is in that garage position, and they are going to capitalize here. Just the Cosmic Divide comes in and looking to go for a plant again. Let's remember, this is a save round here from Furia. And they're using the Cosmic Divide for a fake because you don't get the sound cues, but the drone came through from Shazam, so they
Sick has
know.
all the info, yeah. They need to take out Sick fast here. He's going to get away. Oh, that's a big problem right now for Furia. They have a lot of ground to cover before they get to any of the sites.
There's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to go. They've lost their timings. Oh, I mean, you love the attempt there from Exan, but he had to hit that one. Sick takes him down, and now that's the Blaze Storm gone. One of the best tools they had in this round, gone. 40 seconds left now for them.
You can feel the round slow down now. Garage control going in Furia's way. The C-split will come in.
left.
But Zoms and Dapper have been so successful at this site working off each other.
Okay, Dapper down to 25. Flash comes through. As Zoms to back him up backside. If they have to hold backside control, they can do so. Sentinels are fine. Spike needs to go down. Tens able to find one as well. So, okay, there we go. Just like that. Sentinels pick it up, and again, Furia's best chance kind of went after the fake was kind of figured out straight away. The drone still being available just made that perfect for Sentinels.
Yeah, I gotta say, Dan, there's been a couple rounds so far where I've been casting this with you, and Tens has entered our site. He stacked our site, and I'm not even aware. His rotations are so good. They're just coming in so fast to the right side. He's there. He's getting the entry frag with the shorty. Gets an off frag to close out the round. He is everywhere on this map right now, and his rotations are really on point.
He is the problem, 100% for Furia. And once again, very confident to hold the angles in mid. Deep position from Sick in the C cubby.
Very different look here from Sentinels. They've given up the A site. Dapper playing retake 2 trips down. Those are kill trips. He can easily get a frag from this heaven position, and you can see Sick pushing the other extremity, gets punished for it.
The question here is, how do Furia play off of that pick? They got over a minute to go. How do they understand that that will impact the defensive rotations?
This might be one of the first times we've seen them get a clean 5-on-4 on Haven.
I think it is.
So yeah, this is going to be very interesting to see how they deal with this. They've regrouped now. They've left their Jet in short A. This might be a misdirection play to leave Jet on the lurk.
I really like this here from Furia. Expecting a C split after that early pick is Sentinels, but it will be that B play. Sentinels somewhat out of position. They know what's happening right now, and we'll get players coming through. Tens straight into one. Can he dodge it? Oh my God, Tens! How does he keep doing it? And eventually the trade comes through, but the damage has been done. It's too much. It's just the luck left, and Exan has 3 players to go through and only 20 seconds to do it. There is the first one, but now they know exactly where he is. Shazam and Zoms looking to hold on to this one. Exan needs a mad dash towards the spike, and they're just shutting him out there with the Nebula.
Left.
There's nothing for Exan to do.
Wow, what a play from Tens. It looked like he was done. He dashed right into QCK, right into him, threw a cloudburst on the ground. And me,
no scopes,
just a casual, normal person, Dan, is thinking, oh, Tens has a shorty. This is going to work out really well for him. You know what? The best player in the world says, I don't need it. I'm just going to no-scope him.
Just whilst he's inside the cloud.
Just insane. Actually insane frag from Tens.
Oh, he was tracking the muzzle flash.
Yes.
I didn't even realize that at first.
That's so incredible from Tens to get that second frag, stabilize Sentinels in this round. It was such a good idea from Furia, too. I can't state enough. I think Furia's doing all the right things here. It's just...
Tens.
Yeah, he's come to life. He's come to life in this series, and he's all over the place. Ooh, I think we have a bit of a tech delay, maybe, because we're stuck at 1 second here, Dan.
Okay. Frozen in time. That's the safest place for Furia right now. It's the only place that Tens can't get them.
That is very true. That's very true. He has played Yoru a couple times, though, and I'm not sure what Dimensional Drift can do. It definitely can't get any kills or win any rounds in ranked for me, but maybe can do something for Tens.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Another we've had a lot of pauses from Furia. Of course, this is a tech pause, but we'll get back into the action as quickly as we can. And I mean, this is a moment for Furia to have a breather. They've been really on the receiving end of some nasty rounds from TenZ, but it does feel as though they are preventing themselves from losing advantage very early, as they have been in some of the earlier rounds in the half. So I feel like there's promise, and the best they can get is 5 rounds. That would still be a good finish if they would be able to find it.
I couldn't agree more. I think Furia has given a really good look in this map, and it's not a look that I thought we would see. I'm not gonna lie. Their attack side has looked a little atypical to me. Not a lot of defaulting with late A lobby clears with the initiators, and a lot of initiator-heavy utility towards A, towards Garage. Their defaults have been heavily focused around Garage, B, C, and like kind of spread thin around A. And it's not working out well for them. I think we might need to see a shift in their style of early round control, because the early rounds are much less successful here on Haven than we previously saw on Breeze and Ascent.
Yeah, it is interesting too, because I could see that TenZ, after this pause, actually starting off with some like short A peaks and stuff like that, because I would, if I was Sentinels, I would be thinking the adjustment is the A control at the start of the round for the default, as opposed to the early mid and C and garage pressure that we've been seeing so consistently. That's what I would do if I were TenZ, but obviously TenZ doesn't have to do anything. He can just be TenZ.
He can literally do whatever he wants and probably just reactively play in the round and be good, but I think what we should really be taking note of here is how much success Sentinels has had throughout this first half, playing aggressive into middle. I've seen a lot of plays down out of B, out of Garage, aggressive peaks for information early in the round. And unfortunately for Furia, a lot of their hits are in that zone. That's where these casualties are happening. They're happening from people like, you know, when Dapper swung out of Garage, when Sick ran out of B, when Sick ran out of Garage, when TenZ peeked out of Garage, when TenZ offing people in B. That's where all of the problems right now are occurring for Furia when we watch them. So, you know, how can they clean up that aspect of their game coming out of this tech pause? And I can tell you, looking at them right now, they're spaced in such a way where they're not focusing on that mid control.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I'm so curious to see as to how both teams will play it. As we mentioned, TenZ trying to throw them for a loop, and I mean, we've seen him so commonly around the mid positions and towards that C lean, that it would just be so frustrating, I think, if Furia decide to do indeed go for that, the A control to start the rounds off and force a response there. That's one of the reasons why the A lobby control has been invoked for so long as to how teams would default, because until I think a lot of the defensive sides figured out great ways to put down the counter utility, it was a great way to, I mean, if the defenders would try to fight for that, to diminish their utility early on in a way where it's hard for them to commit. So it's actually such a good way to get them to dump a lot, but then not necessarily want to commit behind it. So then as you pull back as the attackers, you've now got a utility advantage going to the mid and late round. So that was like one of the reasons why the A controls were so good, and it also forced defender rotations, weakening, opening up the other side of the map. So
yeah, and that's what makes Sentinels so good, is this A lobby control. I mean, what they typically like doing is getting TenZ set up. Like you mentioned, the short A push. They'll get him set up short A, looking deep into A lobby. They'll get him set up at long A, looking deep into A lobby. And they'll do this with 3 players utility helping him. And then they'll evacuate that area, and he'll control both the sewer and the long choke point because of the fact that he's so aggressive.
So right now, whilst we're still in the pause here, quick, Sean. Okay, well, never mind.
We are out.
I was going to ask you a question, but denied. We've got that C pressure, the orb collected by QCK. Of course, we can see that Xan is the hero Vandal, which actually, that is quite successful. You'd be surprised on the stats with hero Vandal rounds, but still.
Ooh, look at this. The drone from Shaz inside sewer allows TenZ to get super pushed up on short.
Here.
This is very aggressive, Dan, and I don't know. Are they going to dry peek this on? He better run.
He is running and still has the dash available as well, so TenZ is in a brilliant position. Looking to try to get a timing there on that one. Oh, and he's going to land that. Nice flick on the long position. The dash being available still. Very helpful indeed. Another one resetting the situation. Great headshot though from Marzen to deal with the most dangerous player on the server. But Shazam, he's picked up the operator. He is no slouch with that one as well. Just demolishing them. They can't get up short at the long position. They're stuck. Some nice shots coming through from the Marshall at QCK, but 3 HP is not enough to finish the round. 8-2. Sentinels continue to dominate Furia.
I swear to God, Dan, sometimes TenZ, he's stuck in these spots. He's so aggressive. He stays there for so long. I thought this aggressive peek onto long was going to be a mistake. And I thought it would cost Sentinels the round, but he gets the kill, dashes out. And by the time, Furia can reset at that point and hit the site, the entire Sentinels team is there. It's too late. They're locked out. We're at 8-2, and we need Furia to come up big here, Dan, if we want this to go deep.
Yeah, an exchange of guiding lights there in the mid position for both teams. Looking to go for a fast pace here, Furia. Straight into C Garage. We've seen a lot of slow rounds, but we see the pacing catches their opponents off guard. Dapper, able to spray one down. That's very painful. Good tag comes in. Oh, can't catch the second. And that is Zoms alive for a moment, providing some resistance, but goes down, and that's backside control for Furia. Six tries to make his way in on the timing, but can't find it. Dapper, no HP to work with. Hunter's Fury indeed comes through. TenZ trying to open it up at QCK with the denial. And now it's just Shazam, 1 versus 2 on the Sova, and he's taken down NZR. They did not expect him so far forward, so fast. Oh, with the fake and the off angle, beautiful from QCK. Shazam, he took the bait. And that's the 3rd round on the board for Furia.
And that is a must-win round for Furia right there, Dan. Not only because they needed, a 3rd round in this half, but because now they get to go into the last round with a lockdown. I believe they might even have, they have a couple more ults. I'm not sure if it was the Seekers or Hunter's Fury I saw, but they have a lot to work with here. And 4 rounds, if they can get 4 on the board, that's enough for a comeback here.
I totally agree.
So yeah, we have the lockdown, Cosmic Divide, and the Seekers. Those are some spicy ults, Dan.
Yeah, got TenZ on that short AP. We were talking about this one. Xan has an operator as well. And Sick has spotted. Very lucky to be alive still, I would say. And at the same time, we've got the pressure in through B. It's going to cause some defender rotation, and wow, yes, the lockdown comes in as well.
And oddly enough, this will actually push TenZ eventually off of his short A angle. So Sentinels is going to lose a lot of information when this ult ends.
And they got the Seekers behind it as well to really push the defenders back, allow them to understand how many players are in which direction. A lot of information, but can they hold the post plant here, Furia? Zom's looking for the late flank, and it's actually coming with the operator. Oh my God, here comes Xan. Can he find the timing? Oh, he finds it just barely onto Sick. Scary stuff here. Still alive on that flanking position. Zoms has to worry about that. Pulls out the classic, and there is Xan. Swapped out for a rifle. Good stuff, but there comes the defuse. Dapper has to come off of it. And can he manage to win this one now in the 1v1? There comes, oh, he's actually just stuck it to completion.
What?
Because he is an absolute god. Dapper takes Sentinels at the end of the first half, 9-3 in advantage.
9-3 lead for Sentinels. If there was ever a home map for the NA squad, it has to be Haven. They've closed out so many series on here before. But this cursed scoreline, Dan, can Furia do it?
That's a great question to leave us on for the moment as we throw things back over to the desk to try to answer that one.
I'm not going to touch that question. Not a chance. I'm not touching it. I'm not touching it. But we talked about comfort pick in the map for Sentinels, and they have built a more than comfortable lead here. 9-3 at the end of the half, with Dapper sticking the defuse there to get him there in the final round.
You know, I usually live in Italy, and when I live there, we say that with time, the wine, it ages, it tastes better as you get along, and I think as we've gotten along the timeline of the map, Sentinels has aged better, it's tasted better as we've gotten along. I think that's something that we expected, though, going into Haven. You and I spoke about the fact that this was a comfortable map for both. Why not go head-to-head on a map you're both good on? I just think Sentinels have found their pace.
Yeah, this is just them. It looked like they were a little slow, right? Like, you could see TenZ was a little bit off on a few of his early sniper shots on Ascent and on Breeze. Now he's fully dialed in. I mean, he got the no-scope as well with that op. Of course, that's just classic TenZ right there. I mean, this looks like they are firing on all cylinders.
I like the way it started, though. We had the initial round win for Sentinels. We had that Furia force buy on round 2 to take it to 1-1. But then, of course, Sick coming up big with the 3K in round 3. So it felt like the gloves were off between these two teams early on. But as you mentioned, for Sentinels, they found it. They found the answer on the defensive side, and Sick was a big part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're used to him, especially on this map, especially on defensive side of things, having a really high ACS. That's something that we were discussing already. Going in the Sky, we know she's not necessarily the most flashiest of players like we expect tends to be, but is making the rounds count and the utility count where it matters. I wanted to point out as well, that Dapper sort of ninja defuse, quote unquote. I mean, we have a saying in other games, we say pros don't fake.
Yeah.
And that's why we got the cursed scoreline, as the boys said.
And that's the second time we've seen them do this, right? They did it on Ascent, where they did the pros don't fake thing. This is, you got to be really aware of this as Furia, that you have to push the pace. You have to make sure that they're not given the opportunity. We saw NZR doing a little bit of dancing there to keep himself alive long enough to get the Thrifty to come through. But yeah, this was all Sentinels for the most part. And this is really huge because this is Defender's side.
Yeah, Sentinels are sitting pretty now with a 9-3 first half. They move to the attacking side to try and lock it up. We'll see if they can do just that as we toss it back to DDK and Sean Garris one more time.
Thanks so much, Dash. Oh, yes, this is it. This is the end of the series. So last half, map 3, and Furia, they got a hell of a road ahead of them here, but I would be, I think, very silly if I counted them out at this point.
Absolutely, but I'm going to cut you off here, Dan, but they're keeping up the aggression despite being down 9-3. This is exactly what you want to see out of Furia right now. Xan's all the way down mid, has all the info. But Sentinels really hasn't done anything, so there's not even any info to get, Dan.
Oh, Shazam.
Look at this bait setup.
I don't think he spotted Xan. He has no idea. What a tap from him. And now there could be even more. Using the Cloud Burst to try to get out of that position. Shazam is going to take down QCK. Wow, sick. I don't know how he had an angle there, but he did. I thought Xan was just home free.
Even with the turret shooting him, top B site, Dan. That's crazy. C-splits on. Sentinel's still going into 2 players, though.
Oh! Okay, Khalil shuts down TenZ, makes it a 3v3 again. Backside control is with Furia right now. The tap on the spike comes in, maybe to bait a peek, but there's going to be another trade coming through. Martin at the backside still holding it down, able to capitalize. One more to go. It's Zoms. And Zoms knows where the spike is, but doesn't know where NZR is. Trying to force the peek. Oh, he's just looking at absolutely the perfect angle at the right time for the Red Bull clutch. Zoms coming in hot.
You can tell a person's character by
The
their
man was on
presence.
fire all boot camp long, according to everyone. He posted a screenshot of him having like 36 frags on Astra and Bind.
Spike down.
This is one that Sentinels, they've been slipping through his fingers all series long. He was so close to clutching several of these rounds. Not this one, though, Zoms. You feel like everything is starting to go Sentinel's way. This is exactly where we expect them to be, but we haven't seen them look like this.
I just want to say, Sean, Sentinels have only won 1 pistol this so far, and they lost to the Force Buy afterwards. So we'll see if that story continues, or if this will be their first clean conversion. We don't have a Force Buy, and it's a stack on C. So Furia have certainly missed, or, I mean, you got to gamble. Sometimes you're wrong.
Look, Dan, after that round earlier we saw when, Sick jumped out of heaven with a frenzy, anything can happen.
That's true.
All of Fury grouping right now to literally play the same game. I can see the Sova lining up the recon right now. The flash is going to come in. This shorty is going to try to be annoying.
Yeah, it seems a bit disjointed there. I felt like QCK was a little bit ahead of his teammates.
Not as coordinated, I would say.
NZR will take down Shazam. Some damage being done, but Sentinels have had enough, and that's the 11-3. 2 more rounds to close out this series and move forward.
Just some good old hard yakka. Standing in between us and victory.
I mean, Furia, they saved pretty heavily, so they should have a good buy. And presumably Sentinels will continue with some of the SMGs, so indeed.
Yes. So Sentinels has a lot of rounds and a lot of money to work with here, Dan. And after this bonus is over, they're going to be very close to several ults, if they don't have them already. So huge hold here for Furia. This is where the road starts to the comeback. They're going to have to stop this A lobby control. It's like blinding over it, but it's actually a fake of an A lobby control. And Sick wasted his entire kit. They're really trying to sell this. They're keeping those 3 players there, Dan.
Yeah, oh, that is, I was going to say that they're faking the control, but Furia have the players there. The rotation is slow, but Khalil, with that frag, it's going to slow things down. The Nebula, they're going to have to push forward. They know it. Dapper going straight in and playing the entry role on the Cypher. How much can he get here? Again, Marzen holding backside so his teammates can rotate through spawn and be safe. But Shazam cuts them off there, and they don't have anywhere to go. Marzen still backside. Can his teammates join him here? They're trying to, but Marzen is getting tagged down. But still the pressure on Sentinels, trying to fall off of the spike plant here, and they're not able to get out of that position. Fantastic work from Furia, not giving Sentinels time to reposition.
Yeah, and they're not giving them the fights. I think that's how Furia got
Over
here
the Nebula,
in
got the
Ascent
frag into
initially.
heaven, and that was the initial trade that got Furia
actually
into the
crazy.
site. They stopped the 4.
Crazy indeed. And Marzen's been doing a good job of just that backside control in the few rounds that we've seen, so that is a pretty key position.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think him staying alive there, you did a good job pointing this out. He just nested in there, didn't overextend, didn't peek into any of these aimers on Sentinels, allowed the rotate to come in, and then swung out wide. Retook the site with his team, played it perfectly in the Astra roll.
And now Furia has to defend against this big buy again from Sentinels. Xan pulls out the daggers. And there's a Trailblazer coming through from Sick. Down short A to get that information.
Take flight.
Again, last round, Sentinels saw the A aggression from Furia. They kind of realized what was going on there, I think. So, not seeing it this time. Surely they suspect
I've got your trail.
more players here, but the Seekers will come through. And the push to C comes in, and we talked about the backside control. Can Dapper steal it away? Yes, he can. He takes down one. Another frag from Dapper. That is outrageous stuff from Dapper. He'll get taken down through the Nebula, but they've lost that backside control that we said was so key.
Yeah, he just stormed in there, caged to get past the gravity well. That was just all individual coming out of Dapper. The late Cosmic Divide from Zoms. Disrespected by Zend.
That's huge. The up drop through. Can they do something off of the back of this? You can see that they can just nestle up, they can cozy up behind the Cosmic Divide here. But Zan comes through another up drop. Can he get more? Zan, he gets 2 more somehow, and it's just 1 more to go. But Zoms, he's got the advantage, and he's never given that one up. Match point, Sentinels.
Zoms, another clutch, putting Sentinels on match and series point here, Dan. 12-4, third map. This is just almost undoable for Furia now. They're the underdogs, and they had their chances in this series. They could have closed it out in 2. But now they are in a very difficult spot here on map 3.
We're going to see the first operator here for Xand on this side of the map, and there's none to be answering it with. There's a Trailblazer, doesn't want to shoot that. It's waiting. Oh no, that's so unfortunate for Xand. You can see what he's trying to do there. But 10 is going to take down NZR. It's beyond hard mode. This is nightmare mode for Furia right now.
Look at the lurk from Dapper. Is the trip on C that has absolutely just caged Marzen in, and they're not going to him. This is so unfortunate. They're going B.
The Zoms is stuck, I think. I think they know that he's there. I think they got the Trailblazer on him, but he's going to have to use some smokes to get out.
Oh, he's out, yes.
That B take you were talking about. Dapper, he's just playing the entry frag. I mean, he's on the side for it's just Dapper things. They get taken down with the classic somehow. And commitment to the B plants.
Oh. Zoms might get baited into going for this, but Marzen has rotated into garage and has picked up this door lurk.
Zoms actually has the sense there and the cognizance to fall back. Taking it slow. That's a nice pick up there with the Stinger. A pretty impressive range for a Stinger these days. 4 versus 3 now as that spike ticks away. Another frag. Marzen comes in. And there goes the defuse now, putting the pressure on. The piece come through. Marzen again, just peeling away the defenders one at a time there. Sentinels will concede the round. And Furia, that looked great. They just have to do that, what, 7 more times?
That was probably the hardest of them, too. down 5v4, broken buy. All the buys are going to be better from here on out, so theoretically...
It's true. It's true.
It's possible, Dan. Sentinels forced the eco. You know, they're making a light investment here, making sure they can get a full purchase next round. TenZ has the Blade Storm on deck. That's as good as like 3 rifles, probably. So.
I am worried because this is like the worst round to lose if you're Furia here. You're trying to mount the comeback.
Yes.
They've only got a couple of Sheriffs. And a Blade Storm. And TenZ.
So you can see Killjoy has the turret looking down C long. They have the alarm bot on B. They've doubled up Garage, and they've tripled A lobby. This is such a cool setup from Furia.
Xan just cannot catch a break here.
No.
Trailblazer, Drone, just all sorts of business will force him back. And burn the dash.
Yeah, they've lost this A lobby control. Both the initiators also falling back with Xan. Going back into the C site. The turret will alert them very early that this is going to be a C hit. You can see it's tagging TenZ. He can't even shoot the Blade Storm back at it.
Oh, the cute. Xan elevated, and there is, They'll spotted a Sheriff around the corner, but gotta be so careful. You don't want to feed into this. He's actually chasing, I can't believe it. Khalil is gonna fall back there. There's the B push coming on through. Can Sentinels capitalize off of this one? Not looking like Sentinels can gain much ground here. They've lost the forward positions on B. It's been reclaimed, and now they have 3 players left. And they've only got 20 seconds to plant.
Yeah, looks all but done for Sentinels right now. Everyone just kind of wandering around the map, doing their own thing. 12-6. Furia's getting closer, Dan. I don't know if I'm a believer yet, but they've built the ults. They'll never have a broken buy for the rest of this game, so that they have the economy working with them, assuming they keep winning, which they need to. And a Prime Gaming flawless, I mean, I would be lying if I said it's not doable. On the defensive side of Haven, I've seen rallies way bigger than 6 rounds.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be interesting when TenZ gets an operator in his hands. But with that said, I mean, on the attack, I mean, that's not necessarily a style that they're going to go with. We've got a mid push coming through from Furia, getting space early on. And it's Xan with an operator, but it's a quick C push. So Sentinels are going to circumvent this. However, Cosmic Divide and Hunter's Fury for Furia for a retake is strong.
It's so strong, and I love the little things. Look at this overview of the site. Notice how Dapper uses his cage every time where the meta gravity well is, but look at the Hunter's Fury from NCR. The quick retakes coming in. It gets 2. Dan Shazam is all alone.
Oh, that's a good dig though from Shazam. Can't finish it off though. Xan takes him out, and there's got to be an operator down there somewhere. I think he dropped it. Ooh. Oh no, yep, there it is. So, okay, 7-12. It's happening slowly but surely.
Is it happening?
And Fury did not burn the Cosmic Divide, only the Hunter's Fury.
No,
so
you are correct about that.
That's very important.
Another eco.
That Cosmic Divide is so important. It kind of helps to shut down those really fast rush rounds, allows you to give up sites, retake.
Very good for the A retake. The B retake, it's incredible. If you Cosmic Divide the front of B, same thing goes for C, right? You can put it right in front of the sight box, block off Garage.
I respect
so
it.
Powerful.
Xander's still trying that short A. It's just not happening, Sean. It's never happening.
It's never happening.
He's kept the dash up, though, which is good. And we talked about fast round retakes. All right. The operator's just on the floor, Sean.
Is that?
Xan dropped the operator there.
Are you sure that's what that was? That is what that was.
I'm trying.
I wasn't 100%. I was trying to figure it out. That is a huge error.
And TenZ doesn't pull the trigger, and they're just going to line up, but Xan is just going to the back of the site, somehow dropping the operator. Was that the big brain move? The Mega Galaxy ulti brain play? I don't even know.
Oh my goodness.
Please somebody explain that. Someone tweet us. I don't understand the logic. But they won the round.
I'm glad they won that round. That would have been heartbreaking to see them lose that round. You know, even as an NA player, like, I don't want to see Sentinels win like that. Someone just gifted an off.
But I don't understand why you would drop it there. I mean, if you're swapping out for the rifle.
He had to fat finger it, right?
Yeah, okay.
Or did he leave a rifle on the ground? Is that what
I don't know. You know what? The analyst desk, they can figure it out.
They can figure that out.
They can figure it out. Okay. 8-12. Sentinels timeout. I'm not going to ask you if you're a believer yet. I won't.
Yeah, I'm not going to be a believer yet, actually. So I'm going to wait around. But I'm going to say this. Sentinels has tried to close this match out with very fast, aggressive C hits. And now we just saw them go into this A hit. You know, they're just trying to get it done. But what they're doing is they're dwindling the rounds where they can actually try real strats. And they're becoming more and more readable on those rounds because it's unlikely they're going to continue this style. So their style range becomes narrower and narrower as these rounds go on if you're in the IGL on the Brazilian side. And so the rounds are becoming more and more favored to Furia as this goes on. I'm getting a little nervous.
It's weird, isn't it? It's
a little nervous.
It is a very weird place for everybody to be. Everyone is feeling weird right now, except perhaps Furia, who, I mean, they're in a place where nothing to lose type of situation. You know, well, I said you can lose a series, obviously, but they're the underdogs coming in here, and they're working from a massive deficit where there's no expectation. They're purely in the round-by-round mentality, and we...
Dude, are they doing it again, Dan? Are they sending it C again? They're just trying to jam it in this site to just get their one round.
And Xan's actually there this time.
Yes.
He's given up on A short finally.
He's top site. He's going to get this first shot in. They have the Killjoy lockdown for the C site as well. Very powerful piece of utility. But this battle is everything for Furia.
The drone. That's important.
Your trail.
However, Xan is still there, and there's that rifle he's going to collect. So, oh my god, that is just disgusting.
That's a huge mistake. The Seekers push the player back into Garage. This is the first time that Sentinels has had a clean take of this site. No Mazen staying alive. No Hunter's Fury taking players out on the take. Dapper's lurking in mid. There's a big fight. Gets out.
That lockdown needs to be set up here. And everyone on the C-long position.
Lockdown is not being used though, Dan. This is
there it is. It is. Surely it's going to be coming in. There it is. It's in the perfect position as well.
Oh dear, look at this lockdown. It locks on all of long besides the back wall, Dan.
There's a slither. There is a slither right at the back, just as you say. Can they find a way to manage this though? Tens lining up at the back wall. All the Sentinels players firing off together. In comes Mazen. Very important flank through. There's the hole. There's the stick. Can he find it? Can he find it? Yes, he can! Still Furia alive. The Red Bull clutch there for NCR. Still alive. Are you a believer, Sean?
I am a believer, Dan. That is insane. He saves the lockdown, gets the back wall. The late flank comes in. Dapper cannot stop the defuse. It's planted for the box because, of course, it's a C-long plant. And they have massive number advantage.
I can't believe that NCR had time.
I can't believe 2 players longer detained.
Oh man, this is just incredible. What? Just, oh my god, jumping
what
across.
Is this?
Dapper's running for dear life, classic in hand. That's so tough there because you jump with the classic, expecting him to come off, or do you actually, well, I mean, he can't come off actually. Or do you spray the boxes?
Yeah, there's no right answer. That is such an unreal scenario. Your 2 teammates are detained at long. What is this?
Oh man, it's such a beautiful round because when do you ever see that Killjoy lockdown? And it's because they gathered all the information as to where all the post-plant positioning was, which is kind of rare that you have the ability to know that and the presence of mind to do that in such a chaotic scenario. Massive props right now to Furia. I would be a bit I would say that I would be shaken if I was Sentinels, but I've seen them on Haven have games like this, the scrappiest of games, and usually they come out on top.
I mean, 3 rounds against Sentinels. It's going to feel like an eternity if Fury gets this to OT, right? These rounds are going to be hard to win by them. It's going to feel like that round, right? Where every round Sentinels is just going to claw back into it. And Furia just has to, you know, put the foot down and close out these rounds. That was a phenomenal retake. That was so awesome to see.
By the way, when we get these little intermissions with the tech pauses or pauses, I feel like with the stage and the music, it feels like a music video.
Yeah.
like
I just kind of zone out and kind of want to watch all the colors and the lights.
It's beautiful. But for right now, Furia, I mean, pauses just pauses in general. It's tough. You've got the adrenaline pumping, coursing through your veins, and you get to a moment when suddenly you don't have the gameplay to focus on. When we talk about experience and dealing with pressure, pressure comes into your mind the most when you're not playing the game. This is why some teams will take timeouts to actually ice the other team and get them into that spot where suddenly they're like, wait, are we doing it? And as soon as those sorts start to happen, your mental can start to get compromised. So that's where the experienced teams can survive. And we are asking this question constantly, consistently at Furia. Can they maintain composure in these kinds of spots?
One thing I will say, though, to kind of go to the other side of the coin, something I've noticed a lot as a player and, you know, watching all these games as an analyst is when a player has a big round like that as an underdog, they often have this inflated overconfidence and they'll mess up the next round or 2 rounds later. They're out of the right flow state that they've been in to get in the scenario prior. They're overconfident. So I think these pauses are actually doing a good job of not allowing Furia to enter that state, reset, talk to each other, you know, take some deep breaths. Man, I have seriously been so impressed by this team. It's tactics, spacing, trading, jiggle peeking.
Yeah.
Very impressive stuff from Furia here today.
To me, I mean, it's been a really great performance from them. They've shown a lot of great looks, as you said, different looks, adaptations, good mid-rounds calls where they've abandoned what they wanted to do, and quickly the whole team got on the same page about a mid-round switch-up. These kinds of things do indicate a really top-level team.
Yes.
And obviously we're at Champions, you expect that. But I think as you mentioned previously, we've known that the Brazilian region has a lot to offer, and it got hyped up quite a lot at the beginning of Valorant and didn't necessarily deliver to the expectations that were set. They were set really high, but what we're seeing right now is a Brazilian team playing some fantastic high-level Valorant.
And I don't think you could make the argument that Furia looks like the more skilled team, which is even more of kind of a positive for their team, right? I would say Sentinels clearly has a skill advantage, but here we find ourselves deep in the 3rd map of this series. You know, an inexperienced team is putting up these numbers on Sentinels, and they're doing it tactically and the right way. They're not getting lucky. They've put in the hard work to end up in this scenario.
Yeah, we've had some great moments. We really have so far, and I, for one, hope that we get many more. I want to milk this series dry, Sean. Get those 3 rounds.
I'm not leaving. I'm not ending this tech pause.
And this is a moment for the Furia players to also start to think, okay, well, what's been working? And I think that we're in this interesting part of the game where Sentinels may have forgot for themselves what was working. They've been thrown off kilter. And for Furia at the same time as well, I don't think it's super clear for them what has been working. They've been switching up their pace quite a lot, and they're on the defensive side. So in that sense, you're always somewhat reactive to the first action of your opponent. And because they have been pressuring slightly, but they're not going very aggressive. Xan, a lot of pushes on the short A position to show presence. Doesn't often get value except in showing the presence and forcing util, slowing things down for the attack. And then sometimes we see him on C providing that presence. I think maybe once or twice we've seen him with the mid push.
Yeah,
but that's rarer.
He hasn't been as aggressive on the defensive side as Tens was. But that's what I'm saying about this team. They don't need him to be. They don't need him to be that star jet player because they're so cohesive. They have so many thought out retakes and little plays that they've set with their ultimates in particular. I feel like when they have ults on the board, they are such a solid team. They've done a really, really good job of pairing them together.
Yeah, they definitely have. And I think at the beginning of the series too, we saw some moments on Ascent where I think both you and I were thinking, damn, Xan came into the series a little bit shaky. There were some shots that were missed. I think we both felt like, actually, with where Furia was, they could have won the map with just a couple of these opening shots on the defense with the operator. Had he hit those, would have been hugely impactful. But regardless of that, going into Breeze, again, it's a map that historically Furia doesn't really have a lot of play on. They don't tend to focus on it that much. So it was quite incredible to see them winning that. And again, you mentioned it, Sentinels is the team that you expect to outskill them, which we've seen Tens just popping off. So dangerous. And yet Furia close that map out. And now into Haven, horrendously far down into the second half, and still finding ways to be tactical, to play their game, and to give this a very solid look despite that deficit.
Yeah, despite that abomination of an eco round, right? Like they couldn't bounce back from that. That was actually a massive nail in the coffin of that first half in hindsight, right? That really changed the tide of things and affected how Sentinels were able to put that insane amount of rounds on the board. We had yet to see them start a series like that, and it took, what was it, a 3v4 classic eco with Sick on the Frenzy?
Yes,
It's
yeah,
insane.
that's a very good point, actually. Yeah, the round around that would certainly broke the back of Furia for some time. And another thing, you know, to Furia's credit, is the success they have found on a lot of the pistols in this series.
Yes.
That's something that if Sentinels end up, I mean, regardless of how this series ends, Sentinels will certainly be thinking, okay, guys, let's look at our pistols here.
Yeah.
And of course, we're seeing shots of the players that are not able to communicate during the tech pause, and are in a position where, you know, you have to, this is another aspect of being a professional player. You have to be able to stay measured and understand how to deal with yourself in these kinds of moments. Everybody's a little bit different. Some people want to meditate, some people, you know, maybe they'll have a fidget spinner or something. I don't know, you know, it's each to their own, but that is a part of that trial of fire that is being a pro player, understanding how to keep yourself in a good place to perform regardless of the conditions, because this is LAN and this is what happens at LAN sometimes. Sometimes you get the pauses.
It's very frustrating, obviously, having these pauses out there as a player, and I'm sure, you know, the players have had long days compared to how they would typically have at home, right? That's one of the hurdles that people don't often talk about when it comes to these pro teams coming to LAN and why it feels so different. Well, their schedules are just drastically different at home. You know, when your mom is making you Hot Pockets and bringing them in the room for you, comparing that to LAN when you have to wake up way early before your match, get to the venue, you know, probably have to eat breakfast with your team. You have to be social for once in your life. And yeah, you end up having to just sit around. It's a lot of waiting, not a lot of actual playing. It's a totally different environment than playing an online match at your home. So that's why you often see teams with the disparity. They just can't handle it.
Yeah, and it's only something that is tough to handle, but someone that has delivered time and again, someone that you've called the best player in North America countless times. TenZ, we have a short video on TenZ to learn a little bit more about him if you're not already familiar.
When I hear the word creativity, what I think of is just being unique and creating your own ideas. Hello, my name is Tyson TenZ No, and I'm a player for Sentinels.
Hello, I'm Rosie, and I've created a piece of virtual reality artwork inspired by the professional VALORANT esports player TenZ.
I think something that makes me a unique player is I'm always coming up with new ideas, and I'm very creative with how I use pieces of utility. I know that there's a lot of different mechanics in the game that I can kind of abuse or twist. I just try to play really annoying and kind of be really disruptive.
I was just really enjoying researching TenZ and watching his videos. They're just really entertaining, and just felt like I got to know him. And then when I entered the virtual space, it became just like I was bringing to life his YouTube character, and it just felt like I was getting to know him even more.
When I think of art, think of it as something that someone created, whether it be maybe like an actual canvas, or it can be more of like a theoretical canvas, so it could be really anything.
So in my illustration, especially on the poses with jets, I really wanted to get across how he's such a creative, strategic player. I thought the best approach for this, given that TenZ loves anime, was to make like a manga comic style story to show this relatable person, not just this talented esports player. He's actually just a really nice guy. That, along with the manga style, just goes really well in creating this story of TenZ embodying the game and really becoming this all-seeing, all-encompassing, powerful VALORANT champion.
First time I found out I was colorblind was actually somewhere in grade school. Really, I'm not too sure how I perceive colors, because it's kind of like an abstract idea where you don't really know what colors is, you don't know how to explain colors.
At the end, that final frame just being him bursting into color out of this black and white manga in this sort of magic way to sort of show that he's got this really bright future ahead, which he really does.
Thank you so much for bearing with us. We are about to go back into this crazy barn burner of a match, Sean. Whew, I mean, I don't even know if I don't even know where to start to do a little recap for people. If you've just joined us, you've missed an incredible series. This is an insane comeback run that we have on map 3 of this best of 3, featuring a complete underdog in Furia versus the Titans that are Sentinels.
Yeah, this is probably the biggest underdog matchup that we've seen so far in this tournament. And here we have the situation where Furia could take the series, and they probably should have taken this series already, which is crazy to even say.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive because there's a lot that so far Furia have showed us that suggests that they're dialed in right now, and they're not shaken by just the weight of this current situation that they find themselves in, which is this extended comeback where any one mistake for any single player could completely cost you the series.
Yeah, and that's what's so impressive by this team. That's what I mean, is they don't overextend. They don't make the mistakes that you would typically see in these inexperienced teams, especially when you play against a team like Sentinels, who punishes those mistakes, who has the aim to, capitalize on those inexperienced errors. That's why they don't lose to teams that are significantly worse than them. They only lose to the top teams in the world these days. Sentinels make sure that they don't get burned by silly things. So the teams that do beat them, they have to play an excellent tactical game. And that's what Furia has done here today.
Well, Sean, I've heard that we will be back in shortly, so that's a good sign. And
I'm down to stay, Dan. I'm down to stay. They got more features, dude? I'm down to watch some features.
Yeah, we can podcast it up.
I could draw you and we can make that a feature. It won't look as good as that 10th one, though.
I'm down for that.
Okay.
I'm down for that. Can you make my head just a little bit bigger than real life? That'd be great. Thank you.
What character, what agent do you want to be? Like, what do you...
Oh, well, I don't have time to answer that because we are ready to dial back in and get back into this match. Best of 3 between Furia from Brazil and Sentinels, the North American representatives. And my goodness, we've got 3 rounds here that Furia needs to get to overtime. And it's been a hell of a journey. Can they do it? We're about to find out.
Dear God, I feel like we're bashing our heads into this garage wall because it's looking like another C-split, Dan. We have it. Dapper over here at A-Lob. He's going to cage the cross. Sand over here again. Going to get this A-Lobby control from short. It's like I'm having deja vu right now.
Sand already with the Blaze Storm out there with that little jump peek towards A-Lobby. Doesn't spot anything. Trailblazer, that's going to spot 3 players. That spotted 3 players outside Garage. So they abort? No, they keep going in.
Look at the rotate.
They're going to try to pinch right now, but we do have Khalil in close. Oh, proximity. Oh my God, still getting it though. Sick holding strong despite getting tapped there by the Seeker. Still, Mazin, backside, but not for too much longer. The trades come through. Furia, only 1 player left. NZR versus 2. Tens and Shazam. Backside, spike down. They know where he is. They know where that drone came from. He's going to have to make this. Oh my God, Tens going up with the updraft and comes down and slams into NZR with the daggers and carries Sentinels across the finish line. A matchup you always expected them to win, and I cannot imagine the sense of relief for Sentinels because that was almost a lost series, and that would have been devastating.
And that was one where their star player Tens, he ended the series exactly how he needed to, right? Taking over the game. He took over that 3rd map, top ACS in the server at 267, 5 first bloods. He was all over the place on that defensive half. Huge impact from the young star.
Yeah, absolutely huge. And I mean, we talked about Ascent earlier. Extremely losable in terms of how Furia were playing that, how successful they were, and some of the opportunities they had. I honestly think if it was the Furia of map 2 or map 3 on map 1, we probably would have seen Furia take that one over the line. So certainly a shocking series for Sentinels. They probably went into this one thinking this is a 2-0, and that's going to have to be a wake up for them. And for Furia, I mean, everyone has to have their eyes on Furia now because this was a fantastic showing for them, and they're looking dangerous in this group.
Oh, they're looking terrifying. They're looking like a team that can upset one of the top dogs in the group, which for those of you at home that don't remember, the other top team would be Liquid. So Liquid will be playing Crew. And obviously, I think after what we've seen from Furia today, the loser from the Sentinels, whoever it is, Liquid or Crew, the loser of that game should be very, very nervous because they're going to have a gauntlet to run in the lower bracket of this group.
Well, I mean, one of the beautiful things, Sean, that all of these players get to experience, of course, is the splendor, the grandeur of being on stage, but also being face-to-face and show respect to your opponents. The people that push you further, and in this situation, we saw that before Sentinels got pushed further, still made it across the line, and what a showing it was. So many saves in that manner with the Sunstar 10s. Oh, they all need to collectively buy him a beer. I don't know, like, just... He deserves some extra props for this one.
I think all the Sentinels players came up big in their moments. You know, particularly Sick actually comes to mind. I think Shazam had several great rounds throughout this series. Particularly, I think it was the first map. He carried them through as the top performer on the first map on the Sova roll. So Zoms with the clutches. Everything was needed from Sentinels here today to pull out this victory. So
yeah,
I can't say I'm disappointed in them. I have them as my tournament winner. I should be. I think this is more telling of how good Furia looked in this series, though.
Well, Sean, it was an absolute pleasure to be casting this one with you. That's all for you and me on the casting desk. Here it is time to go to the desk, but first, it is the Prime Gaming match highlights. Don't go anywhere.
A new look for Sentinels as they stare down Furia on the other side of the stage. This time with a coach at the helm. We'll have to see.